Oh my gosh. Oh man. So much happened today, but I'm not talking about today right now. Um, I'm gonna go back in my journal and talk about several months ago. So I now realize though that I wear these really cool hats. I said this in the last video. I wear these really cool hats because enemies will always um, say something about my hat. They'll always say something rude or snarky. So it's just an easy way to identify themselves. And then God renders judgment on people when they make fun of my hat. So I guess I I can look a little silly, and if this serves the Lord and this is the Lord's idea, then it is worth it. As God knows, I'll do anything for the kingdom. But I don't know. I kind of like it though. It's really comfortable. So let me pull out. Man, I fell on my ass today. There was so much witchcraft being used, but I can't talk about that yet. I need to go way back in my journal. See where was I even last time? I don't even know. um, and there is so much. There is so much on each page that I really just have to do one front and back, and then it's 2 hours. But maybe I can get through it a little sooner. It was hot today, and I mowed the yard, so I feel like this is kind of inappropriate with the sleeveless, but that's okay. I'm allowed to wear a sleeveless shirt. I mowed the yard, and it was very hot. So, let's see. Maybe I will bike down to the park and take another shower in the splash pad tomorrow. Let's have a swimsuit on under this. Because that's how God does. Like, I wear silly hats, and I wear dirty clothes and things that don't fit, and then people make fun of me. But then they also kind of like me. They kind of think I'm cool too. They also make fun of me. And trust me, there's a lot of reasons to make fun of me. So, but that's okay. It's cool to not worry about what other people think. And whenever they criticize you, it's just because they're jealous or there's something they don't like about themselves. But actually, there are cases where there's real criticism, and that's when people are lying. Um, okay, so this was at the anime club. They mentioned. Okay. Okay, now I'm on January, February, March, April 3rd, 2026. Now I'm into April. And it's actually June, so this is 2 months ago. Exactly 2 months ago. So I stayed home and ordered Walmart. My father sent me the money. He sent me $100 and said, buy food from Walmart. And I didn't do it yet. Well, finally I did it today. I guess I thought I already did. But it says that I just ordered the food and now it's April 3rd. So I ordered the food on April 3rd. What day did he give me? I'm like going back in my journal. Like, what day did he send me the money? It's like a week ago. So the whole time, I was like waiting. I was waiting to order the food because there's all these free Easter meals everywhere. But actually, they tried to kill me at all of these. So, you know, that's what happens. Next time, stay home. Order the Walmart food. So, this day I stayed home. I did not. Okay, so I did go out a little bit, but I stayed home most of the day. And normally I would go to the soup kitchen for lunch, which is at 11:30. I did not go to that. A little bit later in the day, I rented a booth to put some items to sell. I thought I would go by the booth. So this was just another lesson from the Lord. I thought I would go to my booth and just drop a few items off, and just see if stuff had sold. And then on my way, someone has placed a shirt in the road. Well, now there's a pair of shoes. There's like a shoe in the road. The shoe has been in the road for like 3 months. No one is picking it up. And this is what I have realized today. There are people, they litter and put garbage in my yard. And if I pick it up or if I move it or even if my lawnmower goes over it, I get cursed. So today, like, I'm just like reversing all that fraud, scam, send it to the courts of heaven. Putting trash and littering in my yard is not a gift. I said, send it back 10 times. But this is what they'd been doing. And when I first moved here, I didn't know that. I just thought, this is trash in my yard. I picked it up a few times, and then they keep throwing trash in my yard. Now I just kick it in the road, and I kick it in the neighbor's yard. Because these people litter in my yard on purpose. And they watch me pick it up, and they curse me. So, that's it. I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I have boundaries. And my boundaries aren't people drive by and throw trash in my yard, and then I just go and pick it up. No, I don't pick it up anymore. I kick it into the road, and I leave it there. And that's what it's going to be. I'm not picking up your trash. Let's see. So somebody placed a shirt in the road. I think this is right next to my house. And so that if I picked up the t-shirt to see if I liked it, I would be cursed and probably killed. But no, I did not pick up the t-shirt. Oh, let's see. Oh, this is another reason I didn't go to the soup kitchen. I stayed home and I ordered Walmart, finally, but I was having internal bleeding. I was bleeding. And this is after I was given the pancake with something in it, which I thought were metal shavings and a nail. But whatever it was caused me to have internal bleeding. And so I was bleeding a lot. And I would go to the bathroom and just like bunch of blood. Okay, this is gross. But this is the truth. Blood stabbed in the face. Okay, I had stabbed myself in the face. My face was bleeding. This does not normally happen. This is a very rare thing. So I know it's witchcraft. And I know that they're trying to kill me. And I know how God works. Is I get a curse and then God does something so it gets used up. So I know that they had put a curse on me for me to lose a lot of blood and for me to be stabbed. And what happened is I stabbed my own face. And then I had internal bleeding for like 4 days, and then it stopped, and then I was alive. So I guess it continued over such a long period of time that my body was able to regenerate the blood, and I was still alive. There was a lot of fire trucks outside. These are a sign from God. I don't really know what they mean. So then I go to my booth, and I made $4, so I actually lost money. But I don't even know what I spent it on. Then there was a train. So as I'm leaving my booth, there's a train in the way. So while I'm in there for a few minutes, then a train comes, and then I am blocked from going past the soup kitchen. This is the Lord. This is the Lord. I feel like opening this pop. I hope it doesn't explode. Let's see if it explodes. Let's see if this explodes. I got this for free. Oh, yeah. And also, remember, I have a video about a poison Dr. Pepper. And every single Dr. Pepper I have gotten since then has the same type of tab. The poison Dr. Pepper has a different tab I'm going to show you in this video. When you look at this tab, look at the big hole here, the big opening. This is a very large hole in that tab. Well, every single can of Dr. Pepper I've had over many months has the same large opening in the tab. The poisoned Dr. Pepper I received at the free Easter community meal had a smaller hole. It was unlike, I've got like 6 cans of Dr. Pepper in my fridge, and I saved them, and I compared all of them to the poison Dr. Pepper, which is still full. It's like open, and it's just in my fridge, and it has pop in it. So, but they are all like this, except for the one that is poisoned. So in case you don't understand, the opening, the hole here, is smaller in the poisoned one. And let's see, oh my gosh, this one as well, I don't know if it'll show up. You see there's numbers written, or there's numbers printed on the bottom of this. I think it's a date. This is full, so I'm not, but I think there's a date printed and it's black. It's like black ink or something. Every single can of Dr. Pepper has these numbers in black, except for the poisoned one. It has no black writing on it. What it does have is a few large numbers that are embossed, or maybe they're a letter. Embossing is when it's like pushed out. but it is not printed. So this actually has black letters and a larger hole in the tab. So, but it was the exact right taste. It was carbonated normally. It tasted exactly the same. It was completely sealed. So I don't know how they did it, but they have the technology. Is this how the CIA is spending? Like, how was this, a $50,000 can of Dr. Pepper? It wouldn't be cheap, is all I can say, because it tasted exactly the same, and it was carbonated just like it should be, and it was sealed back up, and the logo and everything, that this part was exactly the same. It was only the tab and the bottom of the can that was different. So I don't even know how you would do this. This would take you would have to take it, like make this at a manufacturing plant or something. I don't even understand. Lord God in heaven, remove any curses and spells from this pop. Remove any dedications to other than you. May this be halal, permissible, and acceptable. May this be kosher. I don't actually kosher. It over-regulates, so halal is the best way. Just no pork or blood in this, and may it not harm me. Remove any toxins, and thank you, God, for blessing me with this Dr. Pepper, which is not poisoned because the tab is normal and it has the numbers on the bottom. Okay, so when I leave my booth, the way I normally go goes right past where the soup kitchen is. It's really close to it, but then a train came and it blocked the way I would normally go. So I had to go like a couple blocks down this way and under a bridge. And so I was far away from the soup kitchen. I had to go a different direction when I left, and this was the Lord. There's not normally the trains come often, but most of the time there's not a train there. So for the train to come, and maybe I was in there for 15 minutes. When I got there, there was no train. And when I left, there was a train. So this is the Lord, I believe, because it's not very likely. So then that was another sign, though. Actually, I think I left to go to my booth at about 3:30 or so. Maybe it was about 4. And then they served dinner at the soup kitchen at 4:30. And I would have been there right on time to leave my booth and go to the soup kitchen. But while I was in the place where my booth is, then a train came. And that was a confirmation from the Lord. I had to go away. So I was like really close to the soup kitchen, and I had to go all the way, like blocks down and around. So that was my confirmation from God. Do not go to the soup kitchen. And I also... I ordered food on Walmart. It hadn't arrived yet. So I thought I would go to my booth and check out this pawn shop and then go back, and my food should be there. This is food I paid for. They're not allowed, the enemies are not allowed to steal my packages that arrive or my food that arrives. My home has a fortress symbol on it. So if something is on my porch or in my home, it is protected unless I invite the enemy in. My property is protected by God, and it has the symbol on Google Maps. It has a fortress tower symbol on my property. So if a mail arrives, no one's going to walk up on my porch and steal it. They're not allowed. God has protected this property. So honestly, I was not concerned. Maybe they could walk by the sidewalk, but they cannot go up the steps, they cannot go on my porch, they cannot come inside my property. It is only when I invite people in that they are able to damage my home. Unfortunately, I hired people and invited them in at the recommendation of my real estate agent. This is nuts. And my parents like them. They all work together. This is crazy. This is crazy. Is any of this real? I don't know. So then when I leave my booth, instead of going just straight down the way I normally do, I had to go a couple blocks down, then under a bridge and up. And then I was really close to where the pawn shop was. So then I was just like right on that road. So I went down the road and I went to the pawn shop. And I started to lock my bike outside. And then someone that worked there, I think, opened the door and they said, "Bring your bike on in." This was God. This was God. I didn't know. They had shooters. They had people out on the road trying to murder me this day. I believe shooters or people were going to try to run me over this day or shoot me in their vehicles this day. So this was absolutely the Lord. I always park my bike outside when I go into a store. Every time I go into a store, I lock my bike outside. But this day, a woman came outside when I was locking my bike and said, "Bring it on in." And so I did. I did. It would have been, I was right there ready to lock it. It would have been easy to do. But I brought it in. This was God. Because I didn't know they had a bunch of killers. And had they seen my bike and had time, then they might have gotten me. Oh, God wouldn't have allowed it, but it would have been close. It would have been close. So I went into the pawn shop. I actually saw a few things in there that I liked. They even had a used lawnmower for $50, and they said it worked. And I'm like, that works? I had to spend more than $100 to get my lawnmower fixed because my mother gave me a lawnmower that was broken. And she's like, "I got one for you. Make sure you don't buy one. I've got one for you." And of course it was from your grandmother, so I got to get this one. And then so because it was from my grandmother, and then it was like this special trip, and I had to pick it up and load it and bring it and drive it 100 miles, then I had to pay more than $100 to fix this. By the time I got it fixed, because Paul is an idiot, I'm sorry, he maybe he did it on purpose. He had no idea how to fix this lawnmower. And actually, I think he was trying. He took a wrench and he just did not even know how to open it. He looked at it and he's like, huh. He had no idea how to fix this lawnmower. But anyways, I was paying him to just do some odd jobs. And so I ended up getting fined. They were going to fine me $400 or something crazy for having weeds because my lawnmower was broken and I couldn't cut my grass yet. So then I paid. When that fine came, I called and I brought my lawnmower in and I had to pay. And actually, and I asked him how much it would be. I asked him how much it would be to fix my lawnmower, and they told me, $40 or so, maybe 50, like 40 to 50, something like that. They told me on the phone. Well, then after it's fixed, it's $100. I was like, so, but whatever. Anyways, they had a lawnmower that worked for $50, and I said I had to pay $100 to fix mine. It's like, this wasn't there last year. I actually was I was looking at stores, possibly going to buy another. At this time, all the lawnmowers were like $500. This is nuts. Now that I don't need one, they're cheaper. This is what God does. It's like, I am like funneled exactly where I need to be. So anyways, they had a lawnmower. They had some other things that I liked there. I had some items I could sell. They said they weren't taking anything like that, so that was just confirmation. I'm not selling stuff. I actually had things I could sell. They were not taking it. They said they had too much supply, so I get back home. Okay. When I'm at home, I mow the lawn and eat. Okay. So this is what happens. Okay. So after I leave the pawn shop, I do go home, and then I mow my lawn, and I bring my food in, and then I eat some food. But as soon as I leave this pawn shop, this is nuts. I leave the pawn shop, and then I'm on this one road, and I go 2 blocks over to my road. Once I hit my road, then police vehicles are coming. They're flying. This is like 25 mile per hour here. And then, like, there's a cop coming from, like, a block behind me. And it looked like it was going, like, 60 mile per hour with the sirens and the lights. It was, like, flying. And so I get on the sidewalk. So as I'm on this one road where the pawn shop is, I go over 2 blocks to my road, and I start biking home. Then I hear sirens and see lights, and there's a cop flying behind me. And then there's, like, 3 cops, and they're all flying. They're going, like, 60 mile per hour or something. And this is supposed to be 25. They're all flying. They fly right past me. So they were waiting, and this is as soon as I left. This did not happen while I was in the pawn shop. This happened as soon as I left the pawn shop. They had killers stationed, and I know this. This is unusual. This has not happened. I see cops a lot, but they were going faster than I have ever seen on this road. Normally they go more like the speed limit. This time they were flying, and they flew right past me. And then about a half mile down, then there's another major intersection. So then there was cops there, and then they turned there, and this is the major road. So like, here's the road that my house is on. So I went a couple blocks over to the road my house is on. Then cops start flying from behind me, and then I keep going forward, and then there's a major road here. And then there was cops, and then they were going this way. And this is before my house. And then I got to my house, and then there was cops, and then there's another major road behind my house. There was cops flying behind me on my road, and then going this way on the major road before my house, and then flying this way at the major road behind my house. There is no way this was not a hit on me. They had like 10 cop cars, and they were all going like, they were like following me as soon as I left the pawn shop. They flew behind me down the road, and they were going like, there was killers probably circling my property, probably a half-mile radius, and the cops were going every way and getting different people. And I have seen them get people here before, because on the way to my house there's a major road like right here, and I will often see the cops go that way and get people. But this was more police than I had ever seen, and they were going faster than I had ever seen. And this is right when they're trying to kill me, so I know exactly what it is. I was told to stay home. I ordered the food, but I just thought, well, I didn't go to the soup kitchen. I'm just going to go look at this pawn shop they mentioned about in the anime club, and I'm going to stop by my booth. Well, they were stationed there waiting there all day. And actually, they were probably there for the dinner at the soup kitchen too, just in case because they were probably thinking I would show up for the dinner at the soup kitchen, because it was right about time to go to the soup kitchen and have dinner. But then the train came, and so then instead of being able to just cross a road and go a couple blocks down, then I had to go way back. I had to go back from where I came and way and around. So then this was a sign, do not go to the soup kitchen. But had I went to the soup kitchen, there was probably killers and vehicles. And when the black gangs were after me, they would often have people in cars trying to get me, and I would always see police catching people. And I know that they were for me, because it was always when I was leaving. It was always when I'm coming and going. It's like they're following me. But yeah, they were flying down the road. They went to the major road. So my road, there's a major intersection. They were there. The major intersection before my house and the major intersection after my house. And then, so they were flying down my road, and then they flew this way, and then they flew this way. And there was a lot of police officers, so I knew they were trying to get me. And this woman told me to bring my bike in. Had my bike been sitting out there, maybe someone would have tried to get me while I was unlocking it and leaving. But because they didn't necessarily know where I went, honestly, because they were probably expecting me to go to the soup kitchen for dinner. And I just thought to go to the pawn shop. I didn't tell anybody about this. So they didn't know exactly where I was. They knew I was around there because they have spies stationed. There's spies stationed around my property. Some people in vehicles waiting. Some people will just be standing there or looking, walking. And now they actually do have some people on bikes too. But I just left the booth and I decided to go to a pawn shop, and it was a different way, and I'd never been here before. So they did not know exactly where I was. They knew I was somewhere in the area within like a half mile, but they didn't know where I was. And so that's how I know, because this is the only time that a business, someone has came out and told me to bring my bike in. This is the only time. So that's the Lord. And for the train to come, well, I just went in to get my pay for the month and then leave, and then a train comes and blocks me from the soup kitchen. That is the Lord. But I did have to mow my lawn, because as I previously mentioned, this city likes to fine $400 if you don't cut your grass. Last I checked, I have zero money. I have negative money. So anyways, But they did actually have some things I liked at the pawn shop. Of course, they are expensive, but so there were spies. Oh, I went to the gym. The big man was at the gym. He seems like a super soldier. I should have put super soldier. I put big man at the gym. He's not fat. I mean like a Hulk. I think he's like a super soldier. And there was a big man on the street walking, like a real muscular. Like, you do not see these where I live. Now it seems like people are smaller, and I'm larger than them now. But no, they had a couple of like super soldier Hulk guys. Like, one of them was at the gym, and then like when I'm in the massage, they walked by and looked at me. It's like, okay, I'm not afraid. I'm not going to run away because God's not going to let anything happen to me. But like, then they had a guy walking on the street, and he was a spy watching. Like, I'm pretty fast on my bike, even though if you're a super soldier, I'm going to be able to get away on my bicycle because you are walking. But this is the thing. They send a super soldier. I really think so, because this guy was big. And then he just goes to the gym and looks at me and like maybe he put stuff on the equipment to try to frame me. But he didn't use his muscles. So I saw this same man later. At the Memorial Day parade. So I don't know if I released that video yet or not. This is the same man I saw 2 months later. I just saw him. So then I look at my clock. Maybe this is the 4th. Maybe this is the next day. Because I started recording and it was April 3rd. So maybe the 4th. I looked at the clock and it was 10:17. Or maybe it was that evening. I don't know if this is AM or PM. But I don't look at my watch very often. But I was having internal bleeding. I have to go to the bathroom again. Like, this is bad. I am bleeding a lot. So then while I'm in there, I look at my watch. I actually take my watch off. And then I look at it and it says 10:17. So I don't look at it every few minutes. I like took it off and then I looked at it as I took it off or something, I think. And then later, I'm still up, and then this huge storm starts. Like, it's pouring down rain, and like I think the dogs were even spooked. But I just hear like a bunch of weird noise, like from this crazy storm, and I go look at it, and then I look at my watch, and it is 1:17 a.m. So I don't look at my watch often. I don't look at it every 5 minutes. I maybe looked at it once every few hours. I looked at it, it was 1:17. And there was a flood. I prayed over my booth. And I only made $4, which means I lost money. But the person that ran the place said it was a hard month for everyone. So here's the next day, which is April 5th. It was Easter. My little Sarah woke me up. I made a new song the night before. I went to the gym. I went to Dollar General. I saw it one more time. I bought a cake there. I bought a package of Little Debbie's. And my last one, it was supposed to have 2 spring butterfly cakes, and it only had 1. And I actually had this package, like, in my bag for a while. And it's like, great. I was shorted a Little Debbie. So I know I gotta go back to the store. I thought possibly boycotting them after they were so rude that I found an empty box. My hands were full. I put my stuff in the box to bring it to the checkout. They were very rude about that. So I said, am I supposed to boycott? But then one of the things I bought was a package of Little Debbie's. And it was missing one. So I'm great. I got it. This is a mission from God. Because how often is it missing one? Like, there's supposed to be 2 in a wrapper. And there was only 1 in the wrapper. The wrapper is like much larger than 1 cake. So it's obvious it was missing 1. But actually, they gave me a whole new box. So then I knew, okay, I am not boycotting Dollar General. Dollar General is not to be boycotted. Because I went in and then they called the manager and they gave me a whole new box of Little Debbie cakes. Now, and then I'm like, oh, thank you. And they told me to go get one. And then I started to leave. And then the manager runs after me. And they're like, oh, I need the old box. I'm like, oh, here you go. I said, you might want to keep this. It's kind of rare. It's like, what am I going to do with this? I don't want it. But I thought it was pretty cool. Maybe they could keep it. but they were really concerned about that. But I thought it was fine. But they did make it right. They made it right. And so I walk in there, and then the employees are trying to be cool, and they're cussing and acting like that. That doesn't offend me, but I don't think this is appropriate for an employee. But what really mattered was that they made it right. When I was short at a Little Debbie, Dollar General gave me a whole new box of Little Debbie cakes. So I am not to boycott Dollar General. Doing the right thing is more important than what type of language they use, or even being rude. So what's going on here? Yeah, I guess I went. This is Easter. Okay, so this is the day of the Easter meal and the poisoned Dr. Pepper. I just got these today at a different meeting, and I didn't plan on talking about Dr. Pepper in my video. So this is also God. Like, when I start recording, all of it is planned by God. Because this is the day that I got the poison Dr. Pepper. Now, I don't know how well it's coming out, but you can see there is black letters on the bottom of this can. The poison can had no black letters. It had an embossing. That's where it's like bumped out. And there was no black. Okay, so I stopped at Dollar General. There was this community free meal. It had been advertised everywhere. It was on the local news, so I knew I have to go there. And generally this would be pretty safe, because the entire city, people can come in and get a free meal. So they're not going to be killing the whole town. So generally it's pretty safe. If I go through the line with other people, they don't really have time to poison my food. But they still do things that they're able to. But I can kind of circumvent it. I bike. Oh, when I was leaving Dollar General, there was another bike on the rack, and a tall man came out, and he said, oh, hello, or something. And I don't know if this was supposed to be a counterfeit, because he had a bike that was kind of similar to mine, and he came out. And so maybe they were trying to send a counterfeit. I don't know, maybe not. But this is unusual. Because I don't know. It just seemed like it was orchestrated. That's all I'm going to say. But then I left and I went to the Easter meal. I tell people about these meals and nobody wants to go. Like, there's free food. No one wants to go ever. I don't understand. Here's something free. Of course I would have went. But anyways, and I told him, and he's like, oh, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, thanks. And then they don't go. They don't want free food. So, like, is any of this real? Who doesn't want free food? Anyway, so then I go to the Civic Center for a free meal. The line was confusing. There was people coming in, and then it looked like there was two lines, and it was looping around, and who knows what's going on. It was confusing, and I think it was confusing on purpose, so that it would cause certain people to be ditched. Now, this is when Puppy Man comes in, and he's got his two little puppies, and they are in a double baby stroller. He has somehow got himself a double baby stroller. Maybe someone gave it to him. But they also knew I was going to be there at that meal. They knew I was going to be there, and this man would probably kill. And for him to bring the puppies in to the Easter meal, he needed a baby stroller. So probably the coven went and got him a baby stroller, just so he could be there and see me. But anyways, and I waved, and he smiled, and we it's like we liked each other. And then also what was great is that I saw other women coming up wanting to pet his puppies, and I think he was becoming a better person, and he probably could have got some dates too with these puppies. But last time I saw him, the puppies were gone, so it's very sad. Anyways, so there was a huge line. Like, this is a big hallway, and the line was all the way down, and it even looped around. And what was strange is like, this is a free Easter meal, and I like recognized or knew half of the people in this hallway in my city I had seen before, had talked to, or knew their name. This is wild. Um, so, and they knew me. Um, but these aren't the rich people. These aren't the people like of higher class. So these aren't a lot of people with more money have families, and they're not going to the free meal. They're gonna eat with their family. So I guess that makes sense. It's because God has had me going to the soup kitchen and going to recovery groups and dealing with people that aren't doing too well. But I don't really know the higher class society. I did go to King Herod, and one of his relatives had a really expensive house, and they did fireworks, and they had a big pool and stuff, and like, that's fine. I'm not impressed by that. It was nice, but past that, I don't really know people in that community. I maybe recognize a few. I mean, it was a nice house, and it was good, but I like my house. I just want my house to be fixed. But I don't know what God's gonna do. It's like, why I don't want to necessarily leave, but I didn't want to leave my last house. This house is better. But, I don't want some place that's huge and costs $500,000. I like this house, but Paul broke my house. So, what's going on here? Yeah, so Puppy Man was in the line, and because the line was confusing, I guess maybe I ditched him or something. I didn't mean to. There's like two lines, and I don't know if it's looping around or if this is the same line, and so they're just trying to make it confusing so that if I accidentally offend somebody, then they'll attack me or cause trouble. But it didn't, because nobody really understood what was going on with the line. So, and I asked someone and we kind of just merged together. Because I guess, and before it started, no, but the line wasn't moving at all until a specific time when they started serving. So, so I saw my ride to some of the groups, and her friend she's mentioned that I never saw. They sat up. So I went through the line. Actually, I did go through the line, and the only meat was pork. It was a Christian group. They decided on the Easter meal with the special Easter approved foods. All of the meat was pork. And I go through the line, and there's a woman serving pork, and I let her know we're not allowed to eat pork. And I tell her, I'm not being mean. I just say it. So we're not allowed to eat pork. And then I don't get any meat. But they don't, they just had, green beans and potatoes, and this stuff was good. But they didn't give me more of that because I didn't have meat. The meat was quite a big serving, and they should have given me more of the other stuff because I didn't have the meat. But anyways, I told the person we're not allowed to eat pork, and then I went through the line. And then the pastor did not know this at this point. But the pastor has been nice to me. He's one of the only pastors that is actually nice to me. Normally they hate me. And this pastor, and he comes by and he's going hello, and he's just trying to greet me and be nice, it looks like. And then I look at him and I'm like, and I smile or say hello or something. And then he acts kind of strange and then leaves. It's weird. So I think, the pastor's wife something's going on. I don't know. Something is going on there. I'm not talking about their relationship. I'm talking about the pastor's wife and the way she looked at me. I don't know if she is an enemy and possibly working with the coven. Or maybe they're trying to catch them in a sting operation. I don't know. But it looks to me like she's working with them and scheming with them, and looked even a little disappointed that I was still alive. That's all I'm saying. But they've got a family, they've got great kids and stuff. But then when he saw me, he was like, hi, and he was trying to be nice, and then he seemed like he just kind of, maybe he saw the Holy Spirit. I think he saw the Holy Spirit, or some people say I've got a glow or something. And so I think he saw that and then left. But this I believe is one of the best pastors. But then later he found out. I'm sure later he found out. So shortly after that, he found out that I told one of their servers that we don't eat pork. And she was probably offended, and he found out. Because then I was going to sit down. I didn't know where to sit. Like, most of the seats were taken. Then I saw my ride there, and she waved me over like I could sit across from her. And then while I was sitting there, then the pastor came by, because he knew all of us. And then I saw him look at my plate. I saw him look at my plate, and he seemed a little concerned. And he saw there was no meat on my plate. So I think, and then he was concerned. And I think he was a little unhappy. Like, not much. But he seemed like just a little, like, he didn't say anything at all. He didn't say anything at all. But he came over to look. He was looking at my plate to see if I had pork or not. And like, he probably wasn't happy that I didn't have any meat. But he also probably wasn't happy if I told someone not to eat pork. But I don't know. I really don't know. It's weird. So I don't know. I think he doesn't want me to not have meat. He doesn't want me to not have as much food. So this is the thing. Because, like, this church group decided what the food was going to be. So, of course, the Christian churches are pagan. So they're going to eat... What is it? Mice and ham? They're going to eat the ham. They're going to eat the ham. And I also see his wife does, she looked at me a little bit like just a little bit, maybe a little bit disappointed that I was alive. I don't know. Maybe I didn't really understand. But she seems like she's almost working with the coven there. I don't know. Maybe she's actually trying to do good and pretending to side with them. I don't know. I really have no idea. But if I had to guess, I would think maybe she's for keeping the status quo. I really don't know. Because they would... they're doing pretty well, but if they decided to celebrate Sabbath on Saturday, then they might lose members. They would lose standing within the Christian community, and they might be targeted. They might be ostracized. So maybe she doesn't want this. This is why This is why no one reverts to God's system, because there's peer pressure, and they have stuff to lose. They can lose their prestige. They can lose their standing in the Christian community. Well, guess what? That's exactly what God tells us to give up to follow Christ. That's exactly what God tells you to give up to follow Christ. And the more you sacrifice and leave behind, the bigger blessing that God will give you. You'll have to go through a period of suffering, and then you'll have more than you had before. But I don't know. This pastor is really doing much better than every other place I've seen. I don't know. Because I haven't been to every church. There's more. So yeah, the pastor came up next to me, like, right after I went and I told the person no ham, or we're not allowed to eat pork. I don't think he heard this. But then right after I got that, and I was at the next thing getting green beans or something, then he comes by, gives me a huge smile, and he's like, "Happy Easter." And then I don't know, I said I think I said Happy Easter too. I don't want to. I don't want to celebrate this. I don't know if I said, I don't think, maybe I didn't say Happy Easter. I think I just smiled at him, and I like, thank you. I don't know. I hope I didn't say Happy Easter. I think maybe I did. And then when I sat down with the woman that waved me over, I said, I don't like to celebrate these pagan holidays. I don't want to say Happy Easter. And I was thinking, like, what should I say? Because I don't want to rain on people's parade. I don't want to make people upset. But I also think this is wrong to celebrate pagan holidays, and then we're not having a free meal for God's holiday. Where's the Passover Cedar community meal? Oh, there isn't one. But we celebrate the pagan holiday with ham? This is unacceptable. Maybe they'll come around. I don't know. It's really ridiculous how the Christian church is behaving. And we do have more Christian churches than we have synagogues, that's for sure. And so they're probably more on the right track. But they're not following any of the rules. And just how ridiculous, like, since, like, some of us can discern spirits, or maybe just the veil is lifted and everyone can see everything for what it is. But the Christian community, it is so sad. It is so sad, the Christian community, as everyone is soft spoken, uh, and it's almost embarrassing. They're soft spoken and they're silly. The men are beta males. I'm not trying to bash anyone. I think they take on these pork spirits. I mean, I don't understand it. It's like the women are working, and they're working and they're doing war. They're told that the men lead them. They say, I want a man to lead me. But then the women are actually working and doing all this stuff. And the men are beta males, and they're not, most, I'm not saying never. But I'm saying is the look of the Christian church is the men are soft. The men are soft spoken. They are more like a beta male. And this, and not all, but I'm saying this is what, like, if you go into a clique or group, there is a culture. There's a way people dress. There's a way people behave. And the Christian church has decided that men are to be silly and goofy, and they are not to be strong and stoic and respectable. This is all I'm going to say. And at the same time that the men are silly, then they tell them the men are the leaders and the women aren't. But then the women are going to work. So it's like completely, it's horrible. I don't understand. I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm not trying to bash anyone. But like, I only want to help people. And I want to save people. And I always want to help people and no one wants my help. But, you know, even though I don't think I'm intimidating at all. So this is what I'm trying to say. I don't think I'm intimidating. I don't think I'm like a big, tough, scary person or anything like that. But compared to the people in the Christian church, like, I don't understand. I'm not trying to bash anyone, but this is what the way the pagans, I guess, are. I don't know. I'm not trying to bash anyone, but I really see this culture of the way the men are soft-spoken. The men are soft-spoken. That they don't have big muscles or anything, and that, like, we don't want to be working out too much. But I'm saying is, I don't think this is how we're supposed to be. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, and maybe a lot of this is the pork spirits. It's just sad what has been done to us. That's all. But they could just choose to wake up tomorrow and it's like to act and speak and dress a certain way to fit into this community, and that's what I'm saying. But I don't like the culture. I don't dislike it. It's just I don't think that this is. I think we could do a better job. That's all I'm saying. So. Oh, I think. Oh, he said. So the pastor said Happy Easter, and I said Happy Resurrection Day. I think, and I was talking to someone who's like, hey, Happy Resurrection Day. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. So I don't know if I told him Happy Easter or Happy Resurrection Day, because I don't want to sell it. I probably said Happy I to some people. I'm like I don't want to say this. What do I do? Like, I don't want to be offending people, but but actually there are biblical holidays going on at about this time. So when I say one of those, Happy Passover, Happy Resurrection. This was supposed to be Resurrection Day, so that's what I thought to say. And then she actually told me this, and I'm like, that was good, because I wasn't sure. I saw MK Ultraman. He looked like a guilty puppy as he saw me walking past. He looked ashamed. I ate the food there, and I got a to-go box. As I went, they had to-go's ready to go, but then I went and I told them, like, well, I want one without pork, and so then they made one, and they put extra mac and cheese and stuff in there. I think they did load it up with extra stuff, so it was really nice. But then that's when I got the poison Dr. Pepper. So on this table, they would also have the free drinks, and that's where the poison Dr. Pepper was. It's like, is this free? It was on the free table of stuff to take. But then at the other table, they did not have Dr. Pepper. So I was already suspicious. I'm just going to say. And I didn't drink it then. It was after I got home that I just took a little sip, and I'm like, this is heavily poisoned. I just took a tiny little sip, and there was so much poison in it that, like, a full drink could have been lights out. Now, God wouldn't let me die, but God made me smart enough. So a lot of times I'll test. It'll put a drop on my tongue. But whatever, this was so toxic that like, it's been in my fridge now for 2 months, and it's still open. So I don't know if it's still as bad. I mean, whatever they've done to it, I don't know if it'd show up in some test. They probably use plants, really toxic plants. Um, so anyways, oh, yeah, I took a tiny little drink and my tongue started to go numb. I forgot, I wrote this down. My tongue was going numb. It felt like I rubbed my tongue on sandpaper. So, like that feeling after a tiny little drink. It was very weird. I haven't had this before where my tongue felt numb like it was rubbed raw. Just a tiny little drink. It's like if a cactus or something, like with fine little needles rubbed. Um, I was in line. There was enemies all around. So there was warlocks from the coven that were in the serving line. They always are. They're always serving the food. So they're casting spells on this food, and maybe they're putting blood in it. Someone actually asked me about adrenochrome, and they're probably putting blood in it. They're probably putting pork in. Well, they didn't have to put pork in it because the only meat was pork, and almost everybody there ate the pork. That's what I'm going to say. They didn't have to put pork in anything else. There was enemies surrounding me. They had one can of Dr. Pepper, which they know I like. And they said, oh, you can take, like, they told me I could take it. So, okay. Oh, while I was in line, I guess I read this later, there was a woman from a meeting I saw. She had her car parked outside where I could see it from the hall. And she's like, oh, I gave her a necklace that I blessed. And she's like, look, there's a necklace you gave me and how much she loved it. And you could see it. We were just positioned with her car parked there so I could see that the necklace I gave her was hanging, like, from her rearview mirror. Like this, and she was being so nice and like, well, I got some toilet paper. If you need some, let me know. And I got this, and then she asked for my number. And then I get more spam calls. I know. Every time I give them my number, they sign me up for spam calls. But anyways, I knew not to take anything because they've been trying to curse me so I get killed. But I know I was nice to her and I talked to him. And there's another woman there. And so they like come in, someone I've never really talked to. And they try to give me stuff, but it's a curse. They know I need toilet paper because I actually went to one of these centers and I'm like, is there a place to get free toilet paper for broke people? And they don't know. So they have some in the back. They're not going to give me one, but then they use this information to send someone to try to give me one and curse me. Excuse me. To try to curse me later. So I had told someone from the coven, I went and they're like, well, why don't you go in the office? Maybe they'll just give you one. And I told him, he's like, oh, I don't really know any place. They didn't give me, it's just what I mean. They get your hopes up and disappoint you. That's what these warlocks do, or the witches and warlocks. But then she was like, well, I got some toilet paper. Like, I can go out to the car and get a free toilet paper. She knew I needed toilet paper. But I'm like, oh no, actually my father just sent me money to buy food and I asked if I could buy toilet paper. I ordered a package of toilet paper with this money too. As I asked if that was okay. So I said, actually I just ordered some toilet paper. So this was a good save because otherwise I would have needed it and there would not have been a good enough excuse. I'm not going to say you're a witch and you're trying to kill me. No, I'm trying to kind of keep it normal here. But maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just say I rebuke you. But, like, what if these people repent and come around? Like, I don't want to burn bridges. It's so weird. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But I think I did what I was supposed to do. Because, like, if somebody is attacking you, they do it when there's a bunch of other people around. So you don't want to look like a nut job if there's, like, 20 other people right nearby that can hear what you're saying. So, this was also another thing. When I did order the food, I remember now. I asked my father, like, he said I could get toilet paper too with this money. And so I did order a package of toilet paper. And this was the same morning that this woman who was trying to murder curse me offered me some toilet paper. Because toilet paper, that is valuable. There's even a man at the soup kitchen gave toilet paper to his friend right in front of me. So if I'd go up and ask, then they could murder curse me. I was like, this is what they do over a roll of toilet paper. So, anyways, after I ate a meal, I was kind of walking around. Then there was a witch there. She came up and greeted me. This is the witch that gave me the rainbow striped socks and tried to have a lesbian hit on me, like right after this. So I'm not dumb. And it was also Santa Claus, rainbow striped. It was Christmas themed, and it had my name on. So they had gifts for everybody, and there was a name tag on it to make sure I got the one with the rainbow stripes. Let's see, what is this? So she greeted me. Some other people I knew that were in the coven greeted me. So when I was in line, one of the witches said I looked so young. Because they think I look half my age. Said I look so young. And so then she thought of this. And then after I'd eaten, I was walking around. Then she came up to me. She had to like get rid of this. Because she actually blessed me. She had to like reverse that. And then, and she said, she said, people will say little Jen when you're old. She had to say that. And this is obviously a curse. She said, people will say you're little Jen when you're old. And I told her about how we're not going to grow old and we're going to live forever in the millennial kingdom, and that's what's happening. And I said that. I did, but they cursed me. But before she said I look young, and she's like, oh shoot. Then she had to get an old age curse in later. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I rebutted something about life extension and healing technology. Heaven comes down to earth. Yeah, she cursed me. And I did give a woman my number. She was asking. You do have to kind of save face, like when you're on undercover missions for the Lord. And people don't know these are witches. Some know they're witches and warlocks. Not everyone does. There's other people that you could burn bridges with, or they won't deal with you if it looks like you're crazy and they see this. So, I got leftovers. I gave some to my dogs. I heard some family stuff, which I'm not going to speak about on here. Some bad news, possibly. I don't know. Something like, I don't know why 9/11 is on here. I guess my father called me, and when he hung up, I looked at my watch. And it was 2:22:55. Okay. 2:22:55. So, I think that, oh no, it was 12:22. Okay, yeah, it does say 12:22:55, so that you can know. 12:22:55, not 2:22:55. So, my father called me. And we were talking on the phone, and when we were done and hung up, then I looked at my watch, and it was 12:22:55. So I'm just going to add these up and see. 5 plus 5 is 10. Plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. It's a 17. It's a 17, exactly. This happens all the time. So now we're on the next day. That was the Easter meal. I also did take home the poison Dr. Pepper. They tried to curse me. They tried to murder me. Everything failed. So now it's Monday, April 6th. I was still bleeding. I was still having internal bleeding. I woke up, looked at my watch. It was 7:22. I had a dream about cleaning up and organizing a room. This is weird. As I left my house and I was biking down the road, then this truck passed me, and on the side it said National Asset Recovery, and then it had a number on it, which I think added up to 17. So then there was a number on the side, which I believe added up to a 17. Maybe it was a significant number. I just don't remember, because I was going to write it down, and then I forgot, and then I couldn't remember exactly. But I do know the number on the side of this truck was significant. It was either a 17 or a 22 or something. But it said National Asset Recovery. And then they're going to have, there's like a little Japanese type cherry blossom park. and there's supposed to be some event. It was raining. I didn't go to this. Um, there was another prom, and I told them I'm going to go to the next dance. Well, then it turns out there's one that was closer, and it was the next weekend. But no one contacted me, and because I told them I'd go to the next one, so then they had to not go. So I think they were going to go, but because I said I'll go to the next one, then they couldn't go to this. So then nobody went to the, well, the other people did. But I'm saying, it's like the people in my city that go to the groups could have went to this other prom that was the next weekend. And it was for people that missed the last one too. But because I said I would go to the next one, none of them went. So this was much closer than the last one. But nobody went at all. And I'm like, there's another one. Maybe they'll contact me. No. They stayed home though. So they were probably going to go, and then they couldn't go because they didn't want me to go. So they hurt themselves. I don't even like to dance. I don't. But, you know, I don't want to be excluded from things. Okay, so there was a recovery meeting. Secrets. Pork. Somebody left. Oh, I think they had pork at the recovery meeting. Somebody left. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Now it says this is actually Easter break, so a lot of people, like, there's not as many events and things going on because of the holiday. Because of Easter, like, there's normally meetings and things, and they actually don't really have that much this week. And it's also raining a lot. Like, there is so much rain, it is, like, ruined more of my ceiling. So, as I said in the last video, before, like, just, it was raining in the middle of the room, and now it rained so much that, like, because normally the rain would just fall in that hole before it would go past it, but it rained so much that it ruined, like, a whole other part of my room. So, this is the day. I will call her Jezebel. This is, well, I don't want to call her Jezebel because my mother is Jezebel. This is not Jezebel. This is a woman at a recovery meeting who has an alter ego. And this alter ego wears a lot of makeup, wears false lashes, has tattoos, and has a lot of problems. But, so, I knew this was a trick right away. I knew it was a trick right away. But I do everything. The Lord has me meet with people and spend time with each person and just have a discussion with everyone. So I know they're an enemy. I know they're trying to get me, but I know that God uses me for judgment. So somebody attacks me, then they're going to get karma. And I don't want them to be harmed. I don't necessarily want them to get the karma. But, like, my life is in a horrible situation because nobody wants to do right by me. So they deserve it. They all deserve it. God knows more. Like, they have tried to do so much more to me that God has blocked. So they deserve everything and probably more. But anyways, so this woman, and I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm not going to say any names. But she normally wears a lot of makeup. And this was a trick. So as I said, I am not saying anything personal and private. What I do say is when they attack me. When they attack me, that is what I'm saying. This is a trick. This is not some secret that they go and cry about. They are trying to get me. So she normally wears a lot of makeup and all this and is quite seductive and stuff like that. So this anyone can see. This is not a secret. Well, she came in, she had very natural, no makeup, none of that, and talking like a real person. Like actually being her real self, let's say. And she was talking about how she wanted to stop being her alter ego. She wants to stop being her alter. And then after the group, then she like wants to sit down with, and she's like, "Oh, I need your help." And it's like, "Oh, I love what you say. It's like so much wisdom," or I don't know exactly, but I think she kind of believes it. But she's trying to butter me up. She's trying to butter me up, and I know it's a trick. I already know it's a trick, but that doesn't mean that she won't be helped somehow. I don't know, but she was trying to get me. And then we were talking for a while, and she's like, I was like, "Girl, I'll do anything. Like, if you can come take a shower at my house, you can come do laundry at my house." Like, she was saying all this stuff, like, and I said, "Well, how about?" She was trying to, like, take me to get my laundry done and to do a shower, and like we had plans to do it tomorrow, the next day. And then she was like, well, how about right now? Because she's like, somebody is not home. So she said, someone's not home now, and we can go do it right now. Well, this was all set up, and it was all a lie, essentially. But anyways, it was a big setup. She was trying to humiliate me with some problems that I have. And I'm not going to say too much. But the offer, like, she knew that I was unable to get a shower and get my clothes clean. And she was like, come on over to my house. And she was going to let me use her washing machine. And of course I'm going to take her up on this. But then it would take a while. So I was like, well, how about tomorrow? Because I got to get all the stuff bagged up. I only have a few bags, which I got from someplace else. Then I have to have the stuff sorted and bagged to go to to take to someone's house. Or actually, no, this wasn't. I was gonna get I was gonna get some smaller loads for a regular size washing machine, and go over to her house. And then she's like, "Well, we could just go do we'll just like come over and I can have a shower this day." And then like it was supposed to be the next day, and I had so this was an attack, and I'll say why it's an attack. We went to this group together, and then she's like, "Oh, I need to talk to you. I really need to talk to you now." So, like, there was another group, like, an hour later, I was planning to go to, and I was going to meet Music Man. And they knew this. They're trying to stop this. They already messed up his computer, so he couldn't get into his computer. So then I was supposed to meet Music Man, and they were trying to stop me from meeting him. So this woman was like, I really need to talk to you. I really need your help. And then, like, we're talking, and I'm not going to say no to her. I know it's a trick. I'm not going to say no to her. This is a mission from God. But, you know, she knew I had this other stuff planned, so I thought, like, maybe tomorrow I can take the shower. But she's like, oh, how about, like, she really wanted me to go to her house right now, this day. And so I didn't have the clothes with me. I didn't have my laundry with me, is what I mean. So then we just went to her house, and she gave me some of her clothes, which obviously don't fit, but they fit well enough to leave. And she did let me take a shower at her house. But actually, I'm able to bike to the gym and use the shower there, so that wasn't as important. I really needed to be able to wash my clothes, and that's what she offered, that I could wash my clothes. And then she's like, oh, well, actually, this isn't my house. Someone else actually owns this house. And she's just staying there. And she's like, oh, we just got a washer. And there's like, well, and she only wanted me to use it once a week. This is all lies, is what I'm saying. It's like, she's like, oh, come on over. You can use a washer. And then it's like, well, we're not really. And then it was like, all of a sudden now I can't use the washer. But I did get a shower, and she sent me some clothes. This was to curse me. I know, but I did need a shower anyways. So, and then she got some food for everybody, and pulled up on the phone like this pizza place, and it was like, order whatever you want. And then I like, how much is it? She's like, oh, it doesn't matter, order whatever you want. And then she showed me on the phone there was no prices listed. So the way to order was not to save money. It was like almost to spend as much money as possible, because I know they have certain discounts on certain things. But she was just like, get as many toppings and get whatever you want. And like, I didn't see what the pricing was. I've never bought the pizza from this place before. So it ended up being very expensive. And that's not what I wanted. Like, I didn't know how much this was. But it was good. I enjoyed it. But anyways, she acted like she really wanted to help me, but it was a trick. She acted like she really wanted to help me, because what I really needed was to be able to wash my clothes. And then this is actually right before I had a court case coming up. And, I forgot about this. I had to go to Columbus to go to trial in like 2 days. So, she's like, go to my house, take a shower right now. I'm like, okay, I do need a shower before I go to court. So, and then she lent me some clothes to wear and stuff, and said she would, we would go back to her house tomorrow with my laundry, to do the laundry. But then, of course, that didn't work out. So it's just kind of like it looks like a solution, then it's a disappointment. So, yeah, we do go to that first day. We go to her house. Uh, we have we have pizza. I'm able to take a shower, and then as soon as I go in, there's people there. Which I was like, well, do you want to go for a walk? Because she's like, well, I want to go here while no one's here. No one's supposed to be here. As soon as we show up, there's people in there, and there's like everyone is there. I'm like, well, you want to go to walk? She's like, no. And so this was on purpose. It was supposed to disappoint me, and that's why I asked like if she wanted to go on a walk, because it seemed like she wanted to talk. She said she wanted to talk to me in private, but then that clearly wasn't true. We watched a movie. Um, we watched a movie there, and it had my birth month and my birth year in it. Um, she did try to get me to trust her, to tell her some secrets, things I had mentioned in another recovery group. She was trying to get me to tell her more information about it, to be able to hurt me. But I didn't say anything, and I kept it a secret. And I think this is when, because this was really the goal, and I didn't fall for it. Um, so the next day, we were going to go to her house and do my laundry. I didn't have the laundry ready. I had to bag it up and stuff. So then she said that she would take me to her house to do laundry the next day. And then I have court the day after that. So this day, it's April 8th. She picks me up. I spent like an hour, more than an hour, getting this laundry together, or something. Or wait, she lets... okay, I'm trying to remember. I was just going to bring some laundry to her house, and then she's like, oh, well, the person that owns the house really doesn't want me to do laundry here, and so we'll go to a laundromat. And she said she basically said she would pay for me to use the washer at the laundromat, and she would bring bleach. This is what she said. She said she would take me to the laundromat, she would pay for it, and she would bring detergent. Now, I didn't expect any of this, because she just said we could go to her house and I could use her washing machine. But then I find out she doesn't own this house, and now we can't. And now we're going to go to a laundromat, but she's going to take me, she's going to pay for it, and I needed bleach, and she said she would bring bleach. So, what happens is, she picks me up, and then she's got her dirty, she tells me to put my laundry in the back seat. I open up the door, her laundry is back there, and I have to, and I open the door, and it's so that when I open the door, it falls out into the road, and it's dirty clothes. I'm not picking up somebody else's dirty underwear, okay? And she's like, are you going to pick that up? And I'm like, oh, I'll get something to pick it up with. So I don't like to touch dirty things. I'll get something to pick it up with, and I'll get it when I come back. And I had to, I've got this huge trash bag, and I don't want to rip it either, because it's this stuff's been sitting there for months. I haven't been able to wash my clothes in, 6 months. I've got, a big, giant bag with stuff in it. And, I have to shove it in here where it doesn't really fit well. So I have to wedge it. So basically, she had a laundry basket in her back seat that was turned sideways, so that when I opened the door, her dirty clothes fell into the road, and she wanted me to touch it with my hands and put it back in. And then she told me to wedge my bag on top of hers, so it didn't fit that well. So I had to push it in there, and it was kind of stuck. This is all planned. What the enemy does. This is insane. And then it's then she's trying to take me to a center to get the clothes done. She's like, you mind if we go here to do it instead? She said she was going to take me to the laundromat. So I got enough for 2 of their big loads. And I bagged it up to go to the laundromat. They have larger machines there. She's like, well, we'll go to this center instead. And I said, well, no, I can't really get it there because I can't open these bags up. I said, oh, I can't do that. I spent too long putting this stuff in here. So she wanted to go to another center that had, a house-sized washer. Which, the ones at the laundromat, you can fit, twice as much in it. So I can't do that. Because I bagged this stuff up. And once I open it, the bag's ruined. I don't have more bags. And this stuff is very dirty. And I told her that. She knew this already. So when she picks me up this day, the day before she had no makeup, she was speaking in her real voice. and she was saying she wanted to stop being her alter ego. This day, she picks me up. All of her makeup is on. All of her fake lashes and stuff are on. And she's like, well, I don't know if we can go to the laundromat. Let's go this place. And then we go in. Of course, they don't have the washer and dryer yet. And she's like, well, I don't have any money. And I said, well, I've got some cash. I'll just pay for it. Let's go to the laundromat. She's like, oh, we can go then. I just didn't have any money. This is nuts what these people do. She said she would pay for it and bring detergent. Because I did not have enough money. Like, if I have any money, I need to use it to pay my bills. Like, that is more important than washing my clothes, is paying my bills because I have a house. But no. Then I did have a little cash left from my baptism. So I basically had to use up the rest of the cash I had from my baptism to get this clothing done, which she ruined. And I will explain that later. So, I would not have taken it to the laundromat if I had to pay for it, because I just had I had like $20 left from my baptism. And I was maybe going to use that on food or my bills. But now, I had to use this on the washer and dryer. This was a setup. So we go to this place, and then we go in the office, and then she's acting like she needs help, and this center that is ran by the coven is helping her. This is the only time I've seen her in there. And so I go with her in the office, and she's talking to the man that runs it. And so she's acting like they're helping her and doing therapy there. But it's not. We wouldn't even went there. And she acted like, oh, they got free food here. So she said, let's go and get some food there and do your laundry there. Well, no, they didn't have any free food left. They already gave out their 10 meals of the day. It's like, I brought some oranges in a bag, and I ate them. I got some oranges at Walmart, so I just ate them. And then that's okay. I brought some oranges. And it's like, well, I've got some cash. I'll just pay the money so we can go to the laundromat. Because I spent all this time bagging the stuff up. And it was already in the vehicle. And I also got boxes to put the clean clothes in and put that in. Then after I loaded it all up, then she's like, well, let's go someplace else. And now I don't have the detergent or the money. And she had the makeup on, and she looked at me like she was getting me that she had the makeup on again. It's like, I don't care. Like, I mean, I don't want you to do that, but it doesn't hurt me. It hurts you. So anyways, so I explained she got karma, and I don't like that, but so anyways, we stopped, instead of going to the laundromat right away, which is what she said we were going to do, we stopped at the center. I think she wanted to go to the center first, then the laundromat, and then talked to the guy that ran it, which was a warlock. He actually seemed happy to see me at first, but then he actually seemed happy to see me at first, but then they had no coffee. They have a coffee machine. They won't make coffee. They're doing this on purpose because they know I want coffee. And then she's like, well, I'll take you to get some coffee. She's like, I'll take you to get some coffee. And then there was no food. We went in there. She's like, we can get some food. There was no food. It was like, oh, we were busy today. They normally have like one person or two people. But this day they had 10 people. No, they didn't. They just said that because I came in and I didn't have anything to eat. So, anyways, we just went in there to make it seem like I would be able to do my clothes for free. But she knew I couldn't break up that bag, actually. This was known. They spy on me. They send bugs in my house. They see what I'm doing. And she saw I had this huge bag. And I told her it took a long time to get this together. And I said I wanted coffee. They had no coffee. And she said, let's get some food. And they had no food. And it was just like another disappointment. But they did it on purpose. While I was in there, the man in the office mentioned some dates. He mentioned his birthday. The number of his birthday. This is so wild. So I don't know, somebody's birthday, and he said the date, and it added up to, so somehow this added up two ways. It had a 17 in it, and it added up to the year I was born. Like, wild. And I wrote this down too, but now I'm having trouble understanding it. Okay, and they mentioned the water, and you can go to this Culligan place and pay $0.25 to get a gallon of water. So, like, that was cheaper than buying one for $1 from Walmart, or $1.50. So, anyways, at this point, the alter, maybe I call her alter ego woman, alter woman, alter ego. She has all the makeup and all the lashes and everything on again. She's acting like that personality again, and she's like looking at me like, "Ha, I gotcha. I tricked you. I already knew it was a trick. I already knew it was a trick. I'm along for the ride. I know God put me here, and it's for judgment. Something bad is going to happen to me, and then you will get karma. I already know. I've done this before." But I wasn't happy. Actually, at least what got ruined was okay. It's not too bad. They spy on me in my house. Like, that's how they plan stuff out in advance. But she was like, "Oh, we're best friends, and I really like Jen, and we're besties, us." And then we go to a group together. This is just to use up my time. This is to use up my time so that I miss the meal. There was another group in the evening that served dinner, and I wasn't going to have anything to eat other than some oranges. So she actually wanted me to be late and not have any food, or not have enough food. This was the plan. So then we have to go to the groups. So there's not really enough time. It was tight. It was all an attack, but I think I handled it pretty well. So she didn't have any money for laundry. That's what she said. But she said she was going to pay for me to do laundry because she invited me to her house to do laundry there. And I was like, well, we can't. Actually the person that owns the house, I thought it was her house, won't let me. So I'll pay for you to get your laundry done at the laundromat. And then it's like, well, I just spent $90 on pizza yesterday, so now I don't have any money for laundry. It's like, I don't know how much. You just told me to pick out one of the pizzas and pick what toppings I wanted. And it's like, how much is this? And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's like, and I ate 3 pieces of pizza and I had a salad. And that was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was great. But that did not cost $90 for 3 pieces of pizza and a salad. It was maybe like $10 worth of food I ate. But it was like, well, I just spent $90 on food yesterday. Well, it was food for 5 people, actually. That was food for 5 people. And, yeah, because there was 4 people that lived there, and then there was me. And then there was leftovers. So, but anyways, but they know this, that it was always an attack. And, yeah, I had just enough money left for my baptism to pay for, like, just enough to pay to do the laundry at the laundromat. And I didn't have any bleach. I didn't have a car to go and buy bleach. Like, she said she was going to bring it. And I didn't have enough money to buy it either, because I had to use all my cash to run the washing machine. She said she'd bring it. I'm like, did you get the bleach? She's like, oh, no, I don't have any. But you just told me yesterday, I didn't say this, but she just told me the day before she was going to bring bleach. It's like, this is what these witches do. Like, it's nuts. So it was just to really upset me and destroy my clothes and use up my money and disappoint me. So anyways, there was a lot of devaluation trying to get me. So in this group, normally these groups, they just color pictures and they don't do anything great. This day, they were actually painting umbrellas. And they knew I needed an umbrella because I had an umbrella hanging on my front door. Somebody actually removed a part from my umbrella so it doesn't work. So I had an umbrella on my front door and I put it there in case I'm outside and it rains. Somebody took the stem off of my umbrella. This is nuts. And so they knew I needed an umbrella. So this day they had, this is the only day, they had umbrellas for us to decorate and keep. And she knew, the coven knew I needed an umbrella. It's like they record all this information and they use it to attack me later. So, so this day we're making umbrellas and I ended up leaving it in her car. I never did get it. But this, to stay through this class. Just, it was so tight with the amount of time left to do the laundry. Um, I was invited to someplace else that evening, or on Friday. I was invited. So, oh, okay. So this is what I went in the laundromat, and then I had all these ones, and it was just taking a real long time. I had to feed them through the machines because money I had left was mainly $1 bills. And I had to put each dollar through, and some aren't working, and then I had to trade to get, and I had to go back out to, so basically she was sitting in the car. So she had her dirty laundry in the car. I forgot about this. She had her dirty laundry in the car, in the basket that was turned sideways, so it fell out when I opened the door. And she told me to put my bag on top. So I had to push it in there, so it was wedged. And then we get there, and she's like, I'm going to stay in the car if you don't mind. I'm going to stay in the car if you don't mind. So this was another attack. We parked, and there was another vehicle there waiting as part of a planned attack. So then she stopped. There was another car here. She stopped right next to this car. So that where I had to get my laundry out was right next to this other vehicle. This was on purpose. It was a lot of attacks. Nothing really took too much. Well, actually it did, but so then I was opening the door I opened the door, and I was careful not to touch this other car, and then I'm trying to pull, like, this is a heavy bag full of clothes. I don't know if this weighs 30 pounds, I don't know. But I'm pulling it, and then I'm just doing that, like, and I'm not pulling very hard, but just a little bit. And the door is resting on me. So as I pull it out, then the door just, like, opens a little bit, and it touches the car next to us. It doesn't hit. No, it just touches. Like, and then the person in the car, like, turns around and gives me a dirty look, and gives her a dirty look, and then starts to talk or say something out the window, to complain or say, like, and I'm like, and then I tell her, it barely touched it. And so then I noticed the car, there's already a paint damage, so they put a scrape and a damage on the side of the vehicle that was already there. So it would possibly be trying to frame me and make it look like I did it. But actually, like, I had, the door was resting on me. I grab my clothes bag, and I, like, just pull it out, and then the door opens a little bit, and it touches the car next to us. It does not whack it. It does not hit it. And I'm like, it barely touched it. It's fine. And then the woman's still getting out, and they're still arguing a little bit. But not much. Because they couldn't. Because I didn't damage the vehicle. It just seriously just touched, and they're like, this isn't enough. They were expecting me to bump it a little harder. But it seriously wasn't enough for them to get out and fight. Like, they were expecting more. And I go in, it takes forever to get the change. It takes forever to start the machines. I don't have any bleach for my whites. And then, well, I had to go back out, and I had to swap, she had $2 bills I had to swap, because some of mine they were too wrinkly to use in the machine, and I needed more change to start the washers. And then she's like, well, I'm going to get some money for coffee. Somebody sent it to me. We got to wait a minute. I'm like, okay. So now, she didn't have money to pay for the laundry, which is what I needed. But we were just going to get, like, a cheap coffee at the gas station, I thought. But now she wants to go to Dunkin' Donuts and buy $6 coffees. I'm like, okay. So someone is sending you money now to buy coffees? And, like, I'm not going to argue. Because, see, God puts me in this situation, and then it's used for judgment, so I'm just kind of along for the ride. This is wild. Like, how much they planned and schemed for all of this. They must have spent a long time. They hired somebody to park the car and be there in the laundromat for like an hour, I guess. I don't know. Because the car, maybe it was a half hour. But there was supposed to be an altercation. There was supposed to be a scrape or a bump on the vehicle because I had to pull my laundry out. This was all planned. And then I finally get it in. She's like, oh, someone's sending money for us to get coffee now. We're going to go to Dunkin' Donuts. And then the coffees end up being like $17. Like, it is, for 2 coffees, it is so expensive. But anyways, I knew what this was. I just started the washers. and then they were going to be going for a while. So that was the reason she wanted to go get some coffee. But we were just going to get some cheap coffee because the recovery center we were just at had no coffee. Well, no, we're going to go to Dunkin' Donuts and we're going to spend almost this. It was like the same amount of money I spent to do my laundry that I needed that money. But now we're going to go get a coffee and spend like a lot of money on it. But I'm not complaining because I'm not here to complain. I'm here for judgment and whatever they choose to do. You know, I'm not going to complain about this. And I knew, like, I'm leaving my laundry. What are they going to do to my laundry while I'm gone? Well, I found out later. I think I found out the next day. We get the coffee, and then I go in and look at the machine. It's still going for a while. I know about how much time I have. Go sit in the car with her, and I drink my drink. Now, she's kind of drinking hers. She's got about, like, half of it left. She doesn't drink. And she's like, do you like it? I said, yes, good. It was okay. I'm going to say it was okay, but it's not like Starbucks is good. But this was it was kind of like sugar water, honestly. But I did like it, but it wasn't great. But anyways, this money could have paid for me to do my laundry. But, and that's what I really needed. But instead, I used up the rest of my cash to do my laundry. And then, someone sent money for, and it's like, it's not here yet. We got to wait. It's not here. And then when everything was timed right, then, I got the money now, let's go. And so, while we were gone, someone opened up so I had two big machines going. One was my colors, and one was my whites. Without bleach, because I planned, because she said she was going to bring bleach. And I didn't have any bleach. Now I have a vehicle, and I didn't have time or a way to get the bleach. And now, like, there was another thing in the evening where we had to be there on time to get dinner because I didn't eat anything. And so she was just trying to run me out of time. So I would miss dinner, and then, like, I didn't really have a chance to check my stuff. Like, so while we were gone getting the coffee, and see, getting the coffee was the curse. While we were gone, somebody put something, I think it was like acid or something, into my whites load. It wasn't bleach. Most of my whites were damaged and ruined. So they put something in the whites load. Now they had to put it in the whites because I have a feeling if they put this in the colors, then there'd be a bunch of like bleach stains or something. Like, and I don't think this was bleach. Unless it was a bunch of bleach. Because I didn't smell any bleach. I think they put acid or something into the washing machine in my light colors. And they couldn't put it in the darks because then I would see streaks and things and I would notice it right away. So because it was in the whites, I didn't notice it right away. And I didn't have a lot of time. So when the stuff was done, I quickly got it in the boxes as fast as I could and got out of there to try to be able to get dinner. So anyways, while I'm in the laundromat, at this point they've already tampered with my whites and ruined. I think they put acid or something in the whites. Because, like, the next day, I see, like, I got a lot of fluffy things, fuzzy jackets, and things that are soft. And then there's, like, burns on it, where, like, the part that's supposed to be fleece is, like, hard, like plastic. So there are chemical burns all over almost everything in my whites load. And some of the zippers are coming apart and ruined. So that's why I'm thinking that they put acid or something in it. Because, like, the fabric, they would have, like, matted spots where it was damaged. And then zippers coming off and stuff. Like, so my whites load was ruined. There was maybe one thing that came out better. But, like, the rest of my whites load was ruined. Like, everything in there had damage on it. But I didn't see it then because I had to rush. And, like, if there was a patch this big that was ruined, the rest of the shirt or jacket was fine. Or if the jacket looked okay, but the zipper's coming off, and I'm just putting it in the box, I don't notice that because I'm not detailing stuff. I gotta hurry. But anyways, while I'm in there, let's see what's going on. This is the way they attack me. They could have used that. She could have used that money to pay for my laundry, which is what I needed. So, but I didn't expect any of it. I never asked for any of this. I didn't ask for any of it. But it was offered to me. And then I was expecting she was going to pick me up tomorrow and we're going to go do it. And then it's just, can't, don't have any money. Well, don't have any. So it was a planned attack. And then to have a vehicle sitting there and to have me wedge my stuff in. So there was no way to get it out because the way the car door is, and it doesn't stay in the same place. There's no way to get it out without that car door touching the car next to us. And like they wanted to do more, but they couldn't because it seriously just touched the other vehicle. They wanted to do more, but the car was not damaged. They couldn't. But anyways, so what's going on here? I'm trying to think. So I actually saw a man in there that I recognized from another recovery group, and he invited me to more things that no one else. So this is a man from a different group. He's from like NA meetings. He has a biblical name. He is not from these groups. So what he told me, the other people did not know about. So I went, and they did not go. So, but I met him in the laundromat. So maybe they knew and sent him, but if they did, they didn't know about the event. They didn't know about the events that he invited me to. So I'm thinking that this was probably completely separate. Maybe he had spies watching me and went in because I was there, or maybe God sent him in because he invited me to some stuff that I was supposed to do. Ouch. Oh, man. Ouch. Oh. Man, I fell on my ass today. My tailbone is sore. This was witchcraft. You guys don't even know what's going on. Like what God is doing right now. God is rendering judgment on the motorcycle gangs, and they've been coming after me, doing a bunch of witchcraft spells, made me fall on my ass while I was mowing the lawn, like driving by and going at me and stuff. It's like nuts. I don't really mind, but actually my tailbone hurts. So it'll probably be fine tomorrow. Anyways, so while I was there, I met another man from an NA meeting. I'm not saying his name or anything, but he just happened to come in while I was there. But all of these covens, all of these groups have spies. They're all separate groups, and they have their own spies. So either God just randomly sent him in there at the same exact time, or he was watching me separately and followed me. And the woman that brought me, I don't think she had anything to do with it, because he invited me to 2 events that she didn't know were going on. And if she knew about this, they would have went and tried to sabotage it. So I don't think they knew. Anyways, yeah, he invited me. This was something that God had me go to. These were more important missions. So I had to go to these. He invited me to another NA meeting, and he invited me to, this is a health fair expo at the high school. So while I'm in there and the washer is going and it's not done yet, or maybe while the I think this is while the dryer is going, because I stayed out in the car with my ride, with Alter Ego. I stayed out in the car with Alter Ego quite a bit, and it was like talking and stuff, small talking. I know she's trying to get me. It's obvious to me, but still, but actually, we did watch a movie together. It had my birth date in this movie. I don't think she knew my birth date. Like, this is confirmations from God. This was all supposed to happen. So, but I see this man. He invites me to this medical expo fair where they give out free candy, free lip gloss, and hand sanitizer. And what else? Oh, and they had a drawing, like, for prizes. And that is where, I'm going to tell you guys, where I won my pancake candle and $100 gift card to a blood testing. What is this? It's a business that tests your blood, and they test like your health and your hormone levels, and like if you have anemia. They test all different stuff, but basically they take your blood. And I got it. So this is what I'm saying. This woman, and this is all planned, this woman, Alter Ego, took me to this laundromat. While I was there, this man from the NA meeting, this is from a completely different group, they don't hang out. Then he went in there while I was there, and he invited me to the health expo, where as soon as I entered my name, it was rigged. As soon as I entered my name in, they called it like 5 seconds later. and I won what this candle. So the bag had this candle, and there was also an $100 gift card to get my blood drawn. Now, if it was only a $30 card, I might not have went in, but it was a $100 gift card. So of course I'm going to go in. So I know this is probably God wants me to do it, honestly. I'm thinking God wants me to because I'm unvaccinated. So maybe they need my blood. Maybe there's something wrong with people now. Like everyone's possessed with demons. And most of them took these vaccines. So, maybe my blood will be because it's still human. Maybe it will do something. So that's what I'm saying. All of this had to happen to get me there. Ouch. Oh, my ass hurts. I'm sorry. Okay. Cussing is not a sin, by the way. And I normally don't say that, but my ass does hurt, okay? And that does not mean I'm sinning to say that. Like the person that cursed me and made me fall while I was mowing my yard, that was a sinner. Anyways, so yes, then I was invited to these other missions from the Lord. And I actually held on to that gift card for a while. And I just used it a couple weeks ago. So I kept it for a while before I used it. And it was actually the day after the Jubilee. Like, President Trump, rededicated the United States to God. It was the next day that I went in and used my gift card and had my blood drawn and tested. And I'm sure they used the blood for other things. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure. They already said, there's already a fine print that if they see this something else on here, like some disease, or they're gonna send it to the government or something. So I'm sure there's more than you pay to get these tests done, but I think they do a little more with the test as well. So I'm trying to think about here. I was invited to these other events that were both missions. We got the coffee. She waited in the car. So she just brought her laundry so that it would be in the way. So I'd have to pick up her dirty bra fell out. She wanted me to pick up her dirty bra, and so that my clothes would be wedged in there, and I'd have to yank to pull it out, and then I would probably bump the car door into the car that was right next to us. So she didn't even go in. I'm like, aren't you going to do yours? She's like, oh no, I don't have any money. So it was just there to be in the way and to get me to bump this other car so there'd be a fight. I mean, this is ridiculous what they do. And this woman, I saw her talking to my ride. I saw her talking to Alter Ego. They conspired together. They planned this before. I could tell because I saw them looking at each other and talking because there wasn't really any damage. So that I saw them like communicating with each other or looking at each other. They were both in on it. It was a setup. So let me think here. So then I saw someone else I recognized there too, and then in the dryer, there was just a pair of shorts in there. There was a pair of shorts in the dryer that was left there, and the person was gone. And so nobody, and I asked, is this yours? I hung it up on the thing where anyone could see that I put my clothes in the dryer. And nobody took it. And then I asked some people, I'm like, is this yours? It wasn't anybody's. So they just left. There was just a pair of shorts left there. And I believe this was on purpose. But they actually look like this. So here's the thing. Those shorts looked like they were the right size for me and was a pair of shorts that I could use. And so it was clear that this was intentionally left there for me. So then I actually took some socks I got from the soup kitchen. I said, I'm not a thief, I'll trade it. So I asked all the people in there, and it didn't belong to any of them. So I know this was intentionally left there. And then, so someone got it because they thought it would fit me, put it in there. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, I'll trade. And so I put the socks there, and I took the shorts. And this is weird. But, I don't know why. The shorts were they looked like just the type of shorts I wanted. And I'm like, is this yours? Is this yours? No. I'm like, so then I knew they were put there specifically for me. And this was after my laundry was tampered with. This is while the stuff was in the dryer. My clothing was ruined before then. And I know that something was placed into the washing machine because I put both the colors and the whites in the same type of dryers, on the same dryer settings, and none of the colors were damaged. None of them had damaged zippers. None of them had burn spots. It was only the whites. So whatever was placed in the whites, you wouldn't really see. Like, it would probably damage the color in the other load. So I know for a fact something was placed in the washing machine, as the colors load had no damage. So then by the time, and I'm like rushing, I'm moving so fast. I'm trying to do 6 months of laundry, and I've got like a half hour, and I'm like putting stuff in and getting my socks together, and it's like running out. Now we're already like, we gotta rush, and it's like gonna be right on time, which is not enough time because you're supposed to show up a little early to eat. They know this. This was planned. Like, oh, we have the only good event where we're making umbrellas. They never do this. We normally color pictures. So we're coloring umbrellas. We gotta go meet with the people in the office. And it's just like everything. And then how I had to feed all the ones, and it was taking forever to get my change. Just everything to make sure that we were gonna be right on time, which means you don't get to eat. Because like right on time, they start the group. You're supposed to eat before. So anyways, I did get some food. Some of the food was gone. I think there was still food, but it wasn't. There would have been like, I think most of the pops were gone or something. So that's what I'm saying. But there still was food. We actually showed up right on time, but you're supposed to be early to eat, and I didn't eat a meal yet, so they knew this. It was an attack. But there was salad. Oh, that's what it was. Oh my gosh, praise God. This is what the Lord does. You see this, Dr. Pepper? I just went to this group again tonight. They have it on Wednesdays. So this was a Wednesday. The Dr. Peppers were all gone when we got there. Well, guess what? I got one right here that I got tonight. So this night, the Dr. Peppers were all gone. We got there right on time, so most of the pops were gone. There was no Dr. Peppers left. They always have those. They had cheese pizza. They also had pork pizza, but they also had cheese, so I was able to get pizza. Then Alter Ego pretended and I'm saying this is not secret information. This was an attack. I can clearly tell this was an attack. So she showed up to eat, and I actually said this. She's like, oh, they're gonna have dinner, and so she went there to eat, but she was gonna take me anyways, but she did not plan on staying. She pretended to have a panic attack and have to leave, and so the coven members and the narcissist went up and hugged her. And this was all totally fake. Like, I can see the mischievous glances. That's what I'm saying, the way they look at each other. Like, I know this is a lie. So basically she showed up and then ate. So she got the free meal, which you're not supposed to show up and just eat. You're supposed to eat, then you do the group. She showed up and ate, and then was like, oh, there's too many people here, and I gotta go. And like, oh, we understand, we'll hug you. So this is what the coven was doing. This ridiculous. And then we were all out in the parking lot. So like now, I had put my clothes in her trunk. This was another attack, because I had these big dog food boxes. Like, I get 40-pound bags of dog food in the mail. And so I saved these boxes to put my clean clothes in. And they're heaping over the top. They just fit into the trunk perfectly. And so this was another attack. She just wanted to eat and then leave. But also, she wanted me to have to take my clothes and put them somewhere else, and it would be annoying. So, and then it's like, well, someone else, like, they found someone else can take me home. So this was probably another curse. This was another curse. When this person took me a ride, this took me home, this was another curse, I'm sure. Because she is getting karma now. As I have found out, she has some health problems and has not been attending groups. So this is likely karma for what this person has done to me. But anyways, like, so then we went out to the parking lot because I had to get my clothes out of her car and put it in someone else's vehicle. So, like, had to take all the stuff out of the trunk, and it just fit. But it's still, like, when, I don't know. They're probably concerned I don't think something's clean, and, you know, and I don't necessarily like to do that. And it didn't fit right away. So, because I have these huge boxes. But it ended up fitting just right. But then it was kind of tight to get in. But it was okay. It actually wasn't that big of a deal. But they were trying to really inconvenience me, stress me out, and cause trouble. That's what they were doing. We went out and we were out in the parking lot, and she was pretending to be upset, but it was obviously fake. It was very fake. Um, there was no panic attack. She showed up, and I said, "Well, just," and I made a joke like, "Well, some people just want to eat and leave." But this was the truth. But I said it in a way that was joking. But they knew. I know what you're doing. You just got your free meal and now you're leaving. And then I got to figure out what to do with my clothes and if they fit in this other car. That was another attack. But anyway, but that's okay. Then they pretend to be my friend, pretend to offer solutions to get my house fixed. Like, this ride here is a witch. And she said, "Well, I know this guy, and he's fixing up my house, and he said he would fix someone else's house up for free too." And she keeps saying this to me, but then nothing ever happened. So this is like a big disappointment. So I think maybe this was a lie, and this lie was allowed to happen. I get the ride, they get to curse me. So, and she sees my house and like offers, "Here's a man that can fix your house," and then I never hear back from her again. So that's what I mean. And then these people that give me a ride, they also sprayed my dog with skunk spray because they give me rides. So I bike places. I don't even ask them for rides. But the clothes I had, it needed a vehicle to move the clothes. So, but anyways, like, in this covenant, there are people that I think are good people in these groups, and some of them choose not to attack me. And actually, like, we ended up stopping at a gas station. Someone bought me a 2 liter of pop. It was really nice. It might have been a curse, but actually, it looked like she was being nice and wanted to help. And I don't think I was cursed from that. And I drank it later and I enjoyed it. So I think this was actually a gift, but it was probably meant to be a curse. But she doesn't want to curse me as a thing. This woman actually, she seems to like me, and she doesn't, like, she's told to get me, but she doesn't want to. That, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, I get home and my ride knows, like, oh, but like basically making it seem like she's got a guy that will fix my house for free, and I never hear back from her again. Now she got some health problems and is not able to go to the groups, so this could be a little karma going on. But anyways, now the next morning I have to go to Columbus for a court case from my fake marriage with the devil, where he's been living in our joint house, not paying any rent, not paying the property tax, like just suing me, making up a bunch of stuff. So it's really ridiculous. But I found this is malicious intent and malicious prosecution and malice very clearly. But anyways, so it is premeditated harmful actions, deliberate harm, and defamation. So I do think the judge might be able to see this, but I don't know. He seemed to believe him at first, but then after I spoke, he was kind of understanding. Oh, so oh, let's see. Yeah, I did. I think I'm gonna have to make. I'm gonna make a separate video about my trip to Columbus and my court case. So I'm gonna do that separately. Court case. I just stepped on that and got it all dirty. I'll have to make a different video about the court case. I'm gonna write this down so I remember. It has been more than a month, and I still haven't received any mail. I still haven't got so the judge said, oh, about a month, because there's a lot of other cases to hear what the results are, and I haven't heard anything yet. So it's just going on and on. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to catch him in some crimes. I really don't know. Like, because if this just continues and we never hear what the resolution is, then maybe he'll start to try to bribe the judge or kill the judge or something, and then he'll go to jail. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on. But, yeah, maybe I'll cover that separately. Then, on April 12th, this is Sunday, so Jim start to go there and realize, oh, I started to go to this NA meeting that I was invited to. So, wait, I went to this NA, I didn't even write this down. So, when I was doing my laundry, I was invited to an NA meeting on Friday. I went to that meeting, And there was a man there trying to be aggressive and intimidating, and he was saying like how he wanted to kill a woman, and he was saying this stuff in the NA meeting. And they said, and I'm saying this here, and I told someone else, he said this in the meeting on purpose. And then he said, there's no women that go to these groups anymore. It's just you, and you're going to have to keep coming. So he basically showed me what his demon was doing. He was loud, he was aggressive, he was yelling, and he was cussing. And he was saying that he wanted to kill his ex-girlfriend and how he used to fornicate. And he said, none of the women stopped coming to the NA group. Well, you know what? I am saying this, and I'm saying this publicly, because this was an attack. And what has happened is he has intimidated and harassed or scared the women to where they are not welcome. They do not feel safe in this group, and they don't come. Because he tried to do that to me. And he also tried to tell me what to do a little bit. And it's like, I was like, okay, I don't have a problem with helping to pick up, but he was rude and he was aggressive. And I could see how most women would not be comfortable in this, and this is what I'm saying. This is not like they say, privacy. What they do is they harass people. These spirits harass people in these groups where you're not allowed to speak. So they do whatever they want. No, if it's an attack, I'm speaking. If you are scaring women so they can't go to the NA group, I'm putting it right here on the internet, because that's what he did. And he was not ashamed. He shows up at public events all the time in booths, like when we have fairs. He was at this health expo, at the booth. All the whole neighborhood's walking by. He's not embarrassed. He tells everybody. So for me to say what he did, it was an attack on women that would go to these groups. And now women are not going to these groups anymore. So that's what I'm saying. And I told someone else too. People are doing this in the groups. Because there's supposed to be secrecy, but they're actually hurting other people under the guise of secrecy. So that they need to add something else to these groups, to where if they think someone's going to hurt themselves or kill themselves, then they can tell. They're supposed to tell. No, if they're actually using the secrecy to harass someone else, that also should be told to people. Like that should also that's not confidential, is what I'm saying. I'm going to tell, because that's the right thing to do. Because he said there used to be women that would come, and they don't come anymore. So I'm telling people. And I told some people in another group, too. I already did. And I said, because they are using this, because that just happened, then I went to this. But anyways, then he invited me to another NA meeting on Sunday. So I went to the gym, and then I timed it so that when I left the gym, I was going to go to this other NA meeting. He just invited me, too. But then I remembered there was a seminar with the faith healer. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to go to that instead. So then I was a little late. So then instead of going to the NA meeting, I bike like a few more miles. I bike like 3 more miles, and it takes even longer. And then I show up at the Faith Healer Bible study, and I'm even later. So there was lots of food. There was lots of pork. This is when they gave me urine olives. Oh, I just spoke to my father on the phone. My father was texting me a lot. Like, he was texting me over and over. He normally does not contact me. I only hear from him every month or so. Well, he was contacting me over and over again. He couldn't find these olives. He bought these stuffed olives. And he's like, do you have them? Do you have my olives? He kept contacting me. Do you have my olives? Because I just saw them for the trial. And I'm like, no, I don't have your olives. So he didn't have his olives. And he called me on the phone. And he was asking me about these olives that he got clearanced for $1.50. It's like, this was a message. Because when I went to, this was from the Lord. Because when I went to the Faith Healer Bible study on Sunday, so this is the next day. This is the next day. Then I went through the first time and I tried the olives. And they were good. So then I went right through again to put more, because I didn't want to take too much if I didn't like it. So as soon as I tried it and liked it, I went through the line again and I put it on my plate and I got more. And then I took a bite and I realized these are the stuffed olives, just like my father was talking about. They are the stuffed olives, exactly what he was talking about. And they had put urine in the stuffed olives. So there was a whole bunch of food, and there was pork and a lot of stuff. And there was something, and it had stuffed olives and little pickles in it. And so sometimes these pickles are sweet, and I don't like when they're sweet. I like when they're salty. So I don't like sweet pickles. That's gross. And anyways, I tried these olives and I was like, oh, that is so delicious. So I had my plate loaded up. Everything was good. I got food with no pork in it. And then I went to get up more olives and I put them on my plate. And then I go to eat them and I take a bite and like, this has urine in it. And actually, when I was sitting at my table and I tried the olives and I smelled pee from in front of me. And there were some old people in front of me. So I thought that these old people had peed their pants. So I'm like, oh, they probably peed their pants. I'm not going to say anything. I go up to get more, and they had put urine in the olives, and it was on my plate. So then I go out in the hall with my plate. I don't want them to see. But now this is on my plate. My fork has touched other things. I'm going to throw all of this food in the trash. Because they have put urine in the food, and it might have touched the other stuff on my plate. This is the honest to God's truth. They put the urine in the stuffed olives. And my father, and I could pull this up, I should screenshot this. He only contacts me like once a month. Well, he contacted me like 3 times in a row. He called me again the next day asking, do you have these olives? I can't find these olives. So I got these olives at Kroger's. These olives were $1.50. And then he texted me before he called about, do you have the olives? They're stuffed olives. I'm like, so then the next day at the Bible study faith healer group, the stuffed olives had urine in them. And so I went out in the hall where they couldn't see, and then a spy came out, which was, I think, this old man. So there was a table in front of my table that had old people there. And I think this old man, I thought one of them peed their pants because I smelled urine for a while. He came out in the hall and he was looking at me. And then I realized he's staring at me to see if I eat this food. He's going to watch and make sure I eat the food. And he's not going to leave. So then he comes up and I said, someone's messed with my food again. I got to throw it away. So then I just tell him. He's like, oh, who would do that? Like he knew, but he was acting like he didn't. And so then I throw the whole plate in the trash right in front of him. I'm sorry. You know, the rest of the food was good, but it might possibly have touched, and I think what they did, because they have dogs, I think they collected dog pee, but that might be too hard. Maybe this was human urine. It could have been human urine. Because I think the old people in front of me, it was this guy. He probably had, he probably peed in it. He probably had a little, test container or something in his bag. And then as soon as I got some, he went and poured it in the olive dish. It was like a bowl. Then he poured it in there real quick and then went back. And I was smelling urine for a minute. I just thought these old people in front of me peed their pants, and I didn't say anything. So I had to throw it all away. And they were trying to get me. I took a bite of this. I'm not happy about this, but my father mentioned the olives many times, and this was a warning. But he didn't have to, because I took one bite and I knew there was something wrong, and I'm not going to eat this. But that was just more proof that God plans everything and God knows everything. So at the end of this meeting, I did ask the faith healer about the white haze. So actually at this meeting, normally the narcissist tries to he says he walks all the women out for their safety. Basically, he has to stay last. Because I think he's giving secret information to the faith healer who has made a deal with the devils. Because he actually did prayers for me that was about things he wouldn't know. He was given information by the narcissist. The narcissist can't read minds. The narcissist, they can send bugs to spy. They can watch me. They have spies. They have people in vehicles watching me. And they listen to what I say. They listen to what I tell other people. So it's not magic. But they have this big network, and they gather information about me. And then they give this, just like they would for other people in the seminar. And then he gives it to the faith healer. This is what I believe. And then he uses that. When he prays for them, he knows what their problems are. So this is how the faith healers and psychics do it most of the time. You can also be possessed by a spirit, by a demon, that allows you to be psychic. They can't read minds. But there are spirits, and they look invisible, and they can watch. So if somebody's sitting there, if somebody's talking on the phone, they can overhear this and then they can tell someone. So this person thinks they're in private and no one's listening, but actually there are spies. And then, so the devil cannot read any minds. Devil cannot read a single mind. God can, and not the devil. So they were really, like, they were all, so here's the coven and the narcissist in there. And the same people. And they're, like, getting concerned. Because now, like, after this Bible study is over, like, then they do prayers and stuff. And then you go. But this, I was still there, and I wasn't leaving. They were quite concerned that I was still there. They really needed me to leave. They have to be there last. Whatever they're doing, they have to be there in private with the faith healer. And so I put the pieces together, and I figured out what's going on here. But anyways, they're getting real nervous. Like, I could see they're physically disturbed that I am still there. They thought I'd be gone. Like, does somebody else need prayer? And then I'm trying to hang around. And like, they are like, oh, go outside, go in, like, taking their time. And I'm still there, and I'm not leaving. And then I finally go, and like, almost everybody has got prayer except for the narcissist. Like, there's just a few left. And they really want me to go. They really do. And it is clear. They are not going to leave until after I do. This is very clear. I go up, and then I go up to the pastor, and I said, well, I was trying to wait for everyone to leave. I'm trying to wait for everyone to leave because I don't want to embarrass you. But I said, God forbids us to eat pork. And a lot of the food, I was telling him about pork, and people take on these spirits and stuff. Because, see, he says the Holy Spirit speaks to him. And he gets information he would not know. So he's getting information from somewhere. So then I talked to him. I said, God, like, basically, God does not allow us to eat pork. I said, I didn't want to embarrass you, so I was trying to wait for these people to leave. And then I also asked him, okay, so I've been testing the spirits here, just to make sure he really doesn't know. So then I asked him about the white haze. So I saw white haze at the Mormon communion after taking the communion. And I saw this at a life recovery group after drinking the coffee. So they were putting something in there. And I'm like, do you know anything about what this white haze is? And he just said, oh, it sounds like they're trying to trick you. So that is true. But he didn't know. He didn't know what it was. And he didn't know what it looked like. And I asked him some other things. And then the narcissist was not giving him information right then. So then he's like, well, what do you want to pray for? He didn't know. So that's what I'm saying, how I know it's a fraud. Because he didn't know. And then I'm just talking to him for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden, and then he's like, oh, how about this? Or not like, how about, he didn't say about how about this. And he's like, pray for breakthrough. So like, he didn't know. So before, he knew some things about me. And this time, they were concerned I'm still there. And then I go up to get the prayer at the end. And then he doesn't know anything secret about me this time. He doesn't know what the white haze is. And he doesn't know any prayer tailored to me like he did before. And then after a minute or two, then he's like, oh, we pray for breakthrough. So it's like the narcissist just threw something at him because he didn't know. That's what I'm saying. So that's how I understand these things. Is I went to the seminar several times. And so he actually knows secret things, or things like that are for each individual that other people wouldn't know. But I know the way that the enemy spies on us. So the enemy has a big network of spies. They even, like, I was with the devil. He even mentioned vans outside with the monitoring equipment. And that happened actually at the end of our relationship when he moved out and I was looking for a house, but I didn't move out yet. Then the van was outside of my house. And he mentioned, I remembered years ago, how he mentioned vans spying on people. And I was hearing noises. Like, this is nuts. So, they can get information in many ways. Like, they record people with their phones. They watch them. They have people in cars. They also have vans with, like, audio, like, recording equipment that can hear, like, people speaking inside of a house. So you can hear me now. And I'm posting this on YouTube. It's not a secret. So this is how they get their information. So if you don't want anyone to know, don't tell anyone. But the thing is, I thought we were supposed to share our testimony. And I've heard through several videos, through things that sound like legitimate prophecies, and through the book of Revelations, that the devil is defeated through our testimony. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting out this testimony. So anyways, what's going on here? This video, it's like they're getting longer every day. I didn't even cover my court case. Like, I didn't even write any of this down. Court case. Yeah, I walked in and it was late and somebody else's case was going on and they mentioned the number 17. So I was like supposed to hear this, and I heard that the judge was reasonable and the judge was lenient. So I don't know if that's good or bad. Anyways, so there was a spy following me at the faith conference. Like, I went to the bathroom, I was still there. He was following me and watching and had his phone out. Like, this same spy that was watching me to see if I would eat the urine olives. So that same spy was like, I went to the bathroom later and he's kind of out in the hallway spying on me. It's very obvious, sir. I can see that you're watching me. And then I also saw him in the lobby talking to the narcissist later. So it's very clear what's going on. The narcissist told him to do it. It's so obvious what they do. And it's like he was out there in the lobby talking just to the narcissist, and then I walk out and I see him. It's like, and then I come out of the bathroom and the guy's kind of standing down there. I can see you watching me. I can see you watching. I can't make this up. Okay, I'm not a screenwriter. So, what is going on here? I watch, somebody says, glow, spend time with God. Someone mentioned something private to me, which I mentioned in another group, to embarrass and humiliate me. Okay, so now I'm on April 14th. Dream fighting action yesterday. Jim Blondes put... Okay, so they knew where my locker was. They put their hair on the locker. So when I open the door, then I get cursed. They put hair on the toilet seat. So if I accidentally touch a hair that's sticking out, then I get cursed. They're putting hair on the keyboards. Let's see. Yeah, police were right at the intersection by my house again. So once again, how I mentioned on... Like, I think this was the day before the Easter meal. And then as I was leaving, so I think this is... this was Friday. I think this is Friday. Or no, this is Thursday. No, it wasn't the day before, because that was Sunday. Anyway, shortly before the Easter meal, when I said the cops sped up behind me, and then it went at the big intersection before my house, they went that way, and then they were flying down the intersection past my house. Well, today, the cops were flying, they were going down, not as fast, but they were going down the intersection before my house, and then they were also at the same time going at the intersection behind my house again. And this is when I'm leaving, like when I'm going home. This is when the police go. It's like they watch me. And actually, as I was biking today, I saw a police officer going by and they looked at me. They know what's going on. Like, the serial killers have tried to, the gangs have tried to take me out. Now the bike gangs, like, they know. They know something is going on. They knew that, and actually, they can probably look up, oh, that shooting, that was right where she lived. And then I tried to go to the police, and they wouldn't record anything, but all of their agents were, so that's what I'm saying. So anyways, so they mentioned, okay, I'm at a church. Somebody mentioned in the group that they got cameras, so who knows what is recorded and what has been recorded. They mentioned, somebody in the group mentioned they had gotten cameras at this church. This is the church where there are witches and warlocks there that try to attack me, so maybe they are recorded. I don't know. But they said there was they have a church service for Haitians. There was a lot of Haitian immigrants, so actually I need to stop by there. I think the pastor was not pleased to see me, which means that there's some problems. But anyways, one of the I did notice some really, like, there was a Haitian man at this church, and he seems like a really good guy, like really in tune with God. But anyways, one of the Haitians knew how to install cameras, and it had installed surveillance equipment for security, but I think they were also recording the covens. So they had sandwiches, and there was mustard, and someone said, oh, and they made a comment about the mustard to make me think there was something wrong with it. But I ate it anyways. I think they were just trying to make me throw my food away. Like, that's how they got me this day. I didn't. I ate it. Because I saw other people were using it too. The pastor came in, got fruit, and left. He, a lot of times, is not in the group. I had left my coat there all week, and then it was still there. So, but, oh my gosh. Then, actually, when I took a shower at Alter Ego's house, then my clothes that I was wearing, I left there in a bag. And she actually had washed those and had them in the trunk to give to me. So then when I went to get them, she actually put some more clothing in the bag with it, which I didn't know about. And so when I took the bag, I got more curses. So she said, oh, I washed your clothes for you. And then let's go out to the car and get it. And I went to get, my clothes was tied up in this plastic bag. And then I get it. And then when I get home and look at it, there's some extra pieces of clothing in there, which actually I like. That's great. There's like some lingerie in there, but it fit me. And so that was good. But I know it was supposed to be another curse. Attitude, do they have time? Oh. How do you know who you could relate to? Do they have time for you? Do they listen? Do they have authority? I don't know what this is. I don't know what I wrote here. Music Man met at church. No one. Oh, Music Man told me about, like, there's supposed to be music class at this church. We go there. No one is there. So we tried to go to this church twice. And then no one's there. And I noticed, because around the time that I was caroling, I got to meet this Music Man once. I was invited to go caroling, and while I was there, this is not regular, not Music Man, this is music teacher. So they're supposed to have a music class, a free music class at this church. Well, I went to this church because I was invited to go caroling. And then the people that invited me are like, oh, here's the man that runs the music class. And then he looked like a large, like, demonic man, like an evil spirit. But not scary in a way, but more like... And then he was a big man, and then he looked at me. So he was standing there, and they're like, oh, here's the music teacher. And then he was standing there, and he looked at me. He's like, oh. It's kind of like he knew who I was. He was evil, and he knew who I was. I don't even really know who I am. I put some things together. But he knew who I was in the spirit realm. And he's like, oh. And then after that, they started locking that church to where you need to ring a doorbell and talk on the intercom to come in. And, like, I asked him about the music class. They're like, who are you? The music class was supposed to be free for anyone to go to. So after the music teacher saw me, and he knew I was interested in going, then they, like, this is like prison lockdown now. Now he locked it all up and has to know who it is, and it's only for kids now, because he is afraid of me or something. He looked at me like... So then he started, this is absolute honest truth. There's a music class. It was just on the itinerary. Anyone was invited to. Like, they have this church printout. A church printout like this size. And it had, like, the events on it. Music class was on there. Anyone that went to that church, like, here's a music class. Well, I tried to go, and after he saw me, then it was all locked down, and it's like, who are you? Well, who are you with? And they don't want to let you in. So, that was interesting, and I know that was because of me. Oh, it turns out the Music Man has children that are about my age. I went to the gym to take a shower. There was another recovery meeting this evening. What is this? John 14:12-14. Whoever believes in me will do the same works I've done, or even greater. This is Jesus. Whoever believes in me will do the same works I've done, and even greater works and things than these you will do. So this was actually, at the beginning of this recovery meeting, they have some Christian music playing, and then they have the lyrics up on a screen. And so I really appreciated this, because this was the true word. It's unlike the pagan belief, where we just sin and we kill... we kill Christ to get to heaven. No, this song up there was like, whoever believes in me will do the same works I have done, and even greater works than I have done. I'm like, yes. So I'm singing this. I'm not a singer, but I like this song. You will do You can ask for anything in my name, and any something question I can answer, Rain. Oh, okay. So I'm not saying anything private. But during this meeting, there was a new person that came in, and they were very upset, and they had a serious question. And God brought me there. She had a real question, and she's like, if anyone, as she said, she had prayed for advice. And I'm not saying who this is. I'm not saying what the question is. I'm not saying what she looks like. I'm saying is that a new person came in that had not been there before. They were very upset. They had questions. They had prayed to God for answers. They were asking anyone if they had the answer. I had the answer. So I met with her as soon as the thing was over, and I told her the answer. This is not breaking confidentiality, what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is God brought me there. I had the answer. She's like, I prayed for the answer. I gave her the answer. You don't know who I'm talking about. Okay, so this when this meeting was over, so we do the first part together with all the genders together, and then we sing, and then after a while we break off into two separate groups where the men are together, the women are together. So, and then we meet up again after, and we eat some snacks. There's like a man that makes soup, and then they got coffee and stuff. So people usually hang around for a while. Anyways, at this point, like, the weather is really crazy. I think I biked here, and the weather was pretty good when I biked there. This is about 5 miles away or something. Maybe it's like 4 miles away. So then I biked here, and the weather was fine. But then while we were there, so I think this is witchcraft. It's crazy weather, like totally unnatural. The sky turns dark gray. These huge clouds come in, and we go out, and like someone's like, there's a double rainbow. So I go out, like we were in the area where the food is, and go out and look. There is these crazy dark gray clouds and a double rainbow in the sky, and then just weird. It's like fake weather, totally wild, and it got super dark. And it starts raining. I was like, okay, so I'm not going to bike home. And actually, they actually, and this is not private, this is not secret, but then at the end of the meeting, they asked, what are you thankful for? I'm not saying anything private. What I'm saying is, when it was my turn, I said I'd be thankful if I get a ride because I came here on a bike. And shortly after the meeting start, you could hear there's a storm and the rain's coming down. So I said I'd be thankful for a ride. Well, they found someone to give me a ride. They did. And I actually got to talk to this man, and he said, it sounds like you're an angel, when I told him a little bit, and he dropped me off. I'm like, I guess so. But, anyone that gives a message from the God is, anyone that gives a message from God is an angel. So that's a lot of us. That's most people, I'm going to say. But, yeah, I think that I don't know. It's like, they know something about me I don't know. Because I thought we're all people. No, we're different. I think, a lot of this changed after coronavirus, though. It could be the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. I don't know. But they know something. They're like, I just mentioned today about God judging things, and everybody already knows. They don't say, hey, that's crazy. They don't say, hey, They don't they know it and they believe it. It's like they know God is using me to judge things. And like they already know, and they're already mad at me for the judgment. Like they know. So I don't know. And then this man's, well, I think you're an angel. Well, and someone else said it looks like you glow. Okay, well, am I like glowing to everybody and then they're all freaking out? Because that would be the Holy Spirit of God. I did see Elijah, and I saw him, and I stared at him because he was glowing, like it was like beautiful. Not his physical body was normal, but I'm saying is like I could see the glow, and I was like, and I stared at him, like, and so I think that God was showing me. I was like, is that what I look like? Because I saw him, and actually then I saw him again a few more times, and then he was afraid of me, and he was going away. So then I think that's what I look like to him. But first God showed him like that to me, and I'm like, and actually I do not stare at people because of what they look like. But this is the only time. So this guy comes to he's a teenager, he's maybe 18 or something. He comes to my door because he's with this charity. Of course, his father is a narcissist. Of course it is. Because God's chosen, their parents are narcissists, apparently. But anyways, he comes to the door, and then I see him, and then this is very inappropriate. This is the only time I have done this. Well, maybe when I was a kid. But like in my adult life that I can remember, this is the only time I've done this. Because I try to behave properly to be a good representative for God. This time I saw him and I stared at him. I stared at him for a minute and I didn't look away. It's like it was a spiritual way that he looked. It was like he was glowing or something. I don't know. And I stared at him a bit, and then we walked and talked to him. I was like, that man, okay, he is not normal. And so I think maybe that's what I look like to some people. But I don't know if he looked, maybe the next time I saw him I didn't see that. So I gotta end this soon. Yeah, I got the secret on how to make the good soup. Soup man. 4:15, rain, sleep late, gym, forgot there was a dream. I was doing like some missions and fighting and stuff in my dream. I forgot what happened though. I actually could have gotten up and written it down, but I went back to sleep instead. Meeting two people, mentioned sleep. Something high school now, gym, hair spies, bathroom users, massage chairs. Oh, I forgot my. Okay. So, I was referred by someone at the group to a different nail place. Because I have to get a toenail put on because I was poisoned by the devil. So, one of my toenails does not grow in. And then it got pulled out. And then the guy wouldn't give me a guide. So, then it got messed up again. I really need it pulled out again. But you need some. You need like an actual doctor to do this. I'm just gonna say it's painful, like to get it pulled out of the skin. Anyways, I need it pulled out again, so they have to put like a numbing agent deep down into the toe to do this, and then they're supposed to put a guide so that it grows in the right direction. So last time, I actually tried to. It was growing the wrong way. I tried to fix it, and that caused it to mess up again. So it was kind of my fault. But had I been given a guide, it would have been okay. Anyways, so then someone at this group referred me to a different place. And actually, the last time I went there, the woman there was really rude to me. She was being real rude, hardly wanted to come over and do what I paid her to do my toe. And she hardly wanted, and she was being real mean. She didn't, they're supposed to give you a drink. And then I think someone else there had to tell her to give me a drink. And then when I was leaving on the other side, I noticed there's a man there that looked like a warlock. He looked like a CIA with a woman there. So I think they were doing witchcraft while I was in there to make this person not like me and to have a really bad experience. But that was my sign from God not to go to this nail place. And so someone at the group mentioned this other one. So I know this is a divine appointment from God. God has made it so I need to have a fake toenail put on. Okay? And so then I was going to this one place, and then God allowed some CIA agents, which is warlock, same thing, to come in and then doing their witchcraft, which I've seen at several other places, so they hate me and do a horrible job, basically. Well, actually, she didn't do a bad job, but like when she was using the file and went like that, and it hurt really bad. She was like filing my skin off and being mean, and like my toe hurt. Like, ow, that hurts. And so I'm not going back there. And then I was referred to go to someplace else, which to me, like, this is God wants me to go here. Obviously, this is how God gets me to go someplace else that is more expensive, that I can't afford. And then someone just randomly mentions this right after I have a bad experience. So, and actually, this nail place that I was referred to, I looked up their website, and the amount of reviews, so on their website it says this many reviews. The number of reviews was the year I was born. So it was 4 digits. It says we have this many reviews. That number, this is the honest to God's truth. That number was the year I was born. And the phone number had a 22 in it. It's like, this is divine. This is from God. Okay? And God uses dumb things, like getting your nails done. It's like, see, I'm not spending money to make them look nice or anything. But, this is like a disfigurement that I have. And I'm not happy with it. And maybe if I had health insurance, they could rip it out again. But I didn't enjoy it the first time. But it was actually growing down into my foot. And then the doctor had to spend like 15 minutes to make sure he got all the pieces out. Like, it was inside of my toe. Like, this was horrible. It, it, um, it was quite painful, but like, I still handled it like a pro, I guess, because he was kind of, when he saw it, he was kind of surprised. Like, this looks like some third world, like something you'd see in like in the countryside in India. And then for me to have this, yeah, that's what you get when you are fake married to the devil. That is what will happen. That is the level of treatment. Like, you will come in. Well, let me see. 4/18/26. There's probably more. I've got a small journal. I'm going to have to go over these dates again with my other journal. I checked my watch, and the numbers added up to a 17. I said, I don't check my watch very often. I check it every few hours. And when I first looked at it, it added up to a 17. I had dreams, revelations, and I understood then that my big dog had shut down the dog fighting ring in my city, and he had saved the city. Police officers were getting attacked by pit bulls. There's a police officer had their ears ripped off by a pit bull, and I know this because I was walking my dog, a woman there, and I asked her where I could take a shower. And she also told me the police officer had their ears ripped off by a pit bull. And this is like within walking distance of my house. And then the dog fighting ring was at the end of my block, and my dog shut it down. Now, I'm not happy he's got a couple little teeth damaged here. I'm not happy he's got a missing tooth and a snap tooth. I'm not happy about that. And his jaw got a little twisted. But you can't really tell. I'm just going to say you can't really tell. And I think he's happier after, because now I give him a lot more attention, and I give him back rubs and hugs more. So he's happier now. But, he signed up for this mission too, and he saved the community. He shut down. And if that stops other dogs like from getting ripped to pieces, that he chose to do this. And I realized my dog is a hero. So I had that knowing this day. Clean something strict of stuff. Face scab. I don't know what I'm. Something eat less. Rain, stay in. Oh my gosh. I did record this already this day. This is for 18. So I looked at my watch, added up to a 17. I had dreams and revelations. Clean. Set. Right. Well, I was cleaning stuff. And so this day it was raining and I stayed home. And I had dreams, and then God just revealed some things to me. So this day it was raining. I stayed home. I had dreams. I understood my dog saved the town. I understood that my dog shut down a dog fighting ring. I was just cleaning and putting things away. And I had a scab on my face. I didn't want to go out. This is another way God tells me to stay home. My face was burnt. This was witchcraft. Oh yeah. Didn't mention this before. The dance. There was a dance, but I didn't get invited. So there was another dance, and I said, I'll go to the next one. But actually, right before this, I had burns on my face. And this will show up in some videos. So that's why this is recorded here. And that was just another thing from God. Even though I don't want to be excluded, I did not want to go to a dance with burns on my face. So that was just God letting me know to stay home, because I didn't want to go out. This is embarrassing. When you serve the Lord and you have when you have wounds, then I don't want to go out like that and make it look like God is weak. I'm supposed to look like nothing is wrong and show that God is strong. And it wasn't that big a deal. But this is like what God does to show me to stay home. I got scabs on my face. I stabbed myself and people can see, or it's pouring down rain. I know this is how God tells me to stay home. So, anyways, I was tidying some stuff up, and I asked God who I am. Oh, I also had a Mormon conference to watch. I had a Mormon conference, and I asked God who I am. I asked God, who am I? Like, I asked God who I am. And I had put on another t-shirt. I made a video about this. I said, and I was praying. And then during that prayer, I normally don't pray this. This is not something this is maybe the only time I have prayed this. Because I don't normally, because I just assume I'm a normal person. Or I assume like I follow God. Anyone else could do this if they choose to follow God. But I prayed to God. And this time, I prayed, and at the end of my prayer, and I asked God, who am I? And so I had this full-length mirror I got on Temu, because I get ready down here. I need a mirror to get ready. I don't have a mirror in my bathroom. So I got this cheap mirror on Temu that I use to get dressed and to get ready. Well, I prayed, and I was next to this mirror. So, like, here's the mirror. Oh, well, it was kind of by the door, and I was standing next to it, and I prayed. And then I stood up. When I finished praying, I stood up and I turned, and I started walking back to my seat. And I saw in the mirror. So I'd put this shirt on, and the way my jacket was zipped. And this was a basketball t-shirt I got for free at a soup kitchen. It was a free t-shirt. And the way that my jacket was zipped, it made a cross. And I just prayed. I said, God, who am I? And then I get up and I turn, and right away, this is like 1 second later, I look and I see in the mirror, and there is a cross. And I cannot make this up. This basketball t-shirt was free. I don't have money to buy one. I didn't even really like it. Like, I thought, I'll try it on again. I didn't really like it. It's a little boxy. And this is also from a local sports team. I didn't order this. This isn't from another state. I wasn't searching for t-shirts that have a cross. This happens to be, like, within 5 miles of my house. There is a local, like, I think high school or something, basketball team. And their logo on the shirt looks like a cross in the top middle. And where my shirt was zipped, only the cross was showing, and it was exactly in the middle. And this is the honest to God's truth. I said, God, who am I? And so there could be a lot of us. The return of Christ could be all of the believers, all of the remnant, all of the 144,000. There could be, I don't know how many. But I know God told me who I am. That is who I am. But I don't know who that is. Like, yeah, I don't know. Are there others like me? I would think so, but I don't know. Anyways, I think this day I was watching the Mormon conference. I still haven't finished it. It was 2 solid days. And I watched 3 of the 4 sections of this, and I didn't finish it. But, anyways, I didn't even cover the court case. This is less than 10 days of journal. There is more that happened that I didn't even record, and I forgot, and I'm remembering, so a lot happened. So you see, some of my journal got a little wet, and it's getting damaged, so at that point, then it's like I get concerned, and it's like I have to record this, because if something happens to this journal, my testimony won't be recorded. So I'm going to keep trying to do more of this every day till I catch up. And so much has even happened in this last week since I started doing these. So much more has happened. It's totally wild. I never believed God would use me in this way. This is like, thank you so much, God. Thank you so much, Lord. Like the things that I remember hearing and that would be, I want to say traumatizing me, things that were like, that's not right, that's horrible. And then like all these years later, to see it being set right, and for God to use me to do that. I mean, it's such an honor. I cannot believe what an honor that is to be used by God. But like, the living situation is not fun. The food is not great. I mean, there's no fun. There's no entertainment. Like, I actually do get a little sad. I think about people going out and having fun, having their families, going places, going camping, going doing stuff, having cookouts, like, going and seeing a movie. I don't get to do any of this. But I get to serve the Lord. So I am so honored to serve the Lord. But there is a cost to do that. There is a cost. I am attacked every day of my life. My food is messed with. They do fat spells on me. They put drugs in my food to make me gain weight. So what else? They do everything. They try to run me off the road. They break my house. Just anything you can imagine. Any problem. But it's still such an honor to serve the Lord. I would not give that. I would not give up serving the Lord for a happy, comfortable life. But I would say is, even though I know all this and I wouldn't give it up, sometimes it's still like, I see other people having fun, and it's not like jealousy. It's not like the sin where you're envious, because that sin involves wanting to hurt the other person. It's not just I want what they have. It's like you don't want them to have it. So I want them to have it, but it's like, when do I get to have fun too? That's what I'm saying. That feeling is there, and sometimes I do get, not much, but sometimes I do get a little sad because like I see people doing stuff and I would like to, but I never get to. But anyways, this was a long entry, and I will try to make another one tomorrow.